We're like internet trolls.
Yeah, the line is in the water now. Let's see if we get any bites.
Are we live?
Yes, we're live.
Oh, good. We'll start talking about people then.
Yeah, let's see if any of those damn losers actually show up to listen tonight.
I'm looking for Chapman. Where's Chapman? Let's invite him on the show. Are you blocked by Mr. Chapman?
No, I am not.
Why don't you?
All of the people that are like, hey, I'm blocked by that guy. I'm like, I'm not blocked by that guy yet. How did that happen? So,
oh my goodness,
we're gonna, we'll do this. We're just gonna, shoot the breeze and have some fun and stuff until my internet goes down again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see all these people like in up north, like making like asshole comments about how everybody in Texas is a wuss because they have to go through this 4 months out of the year. And I'm like, yeah, but you got snowplow trucks and you got salt spreading trucks and you got line, electric transmission wire heaters that are built into the lines to prevent the lines from freezing up. So, down here in the tropical area of South Texas, we don't have any of those things. So, we don't have snowplow trucks and we don't have de-icer trucks and we don't have those embedded transmission line warmers that you guys up north have because we don't ever have snowstorms and ice storms. So, I'm lucky here where I'm at. Everybody everybody, about half the people in Corpus have no power. We had so many water line breaks that water pressure was down. And since the water is flowing so slowly through the system, everything is on a water boil because we're afraid that there's bacteria in the water until they get it dealt with. They're going to have to flush it with free chlorine again. And then it's going to smell like bleach for a week. But we never lost power here. And we never had any outages other than my fucking internet went down. And now it's up and down. So we don't have a guest because luckily I hadn't lined up a guest, which was good because then I would have to be like telling everybody, I'm sorry, dudes, but I don't got. So we're gonna do what we're gonna do. We're just gonna have some fun. If it gets down to it and people are still here and stuff, we'll just start bringing people in from the chat room.
Well, Ivana's here, Tom's here, Shannon's here, Grady, Troop.
Yeah, I see him. RBMKII. I wish he would put a real name up there because that's really annoying. So yeah, we're alive and well. I know. I purposefully have the banner up for a minute until more people come in. If we don't get 20 people in the chat room, I'm not going to turn the camera on. I'm just going to.
You're such a whore.
I know.
But I do understand when we moved to Dayton in the early 70s, we had the blizzard of 78, which is infamous up here. And the county I'm in probably had, 2 snowplows for the whole greater Dayton area. And now we have 7 million. And you guys have like 1 for Texas, right? Yeah.
No. I mean, North Texas is used to having snow. So they have snow truck. I mean, they get snow every year.
Yeah.
I mean, they have plow trucks and stuff. They might have de-icers, but we don't have any of that down here because this is a tropical place. This is like a beach town. So we don't have any of that crap.
Everything's bigger in Texas except the fleet of plow trucks. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, and we can withstand a hurricane, which, everybody's like, well, how can your power line stay up during a hurricane, but not during ice? I said, well, because we don't have inline wire heaters like they do up north, and it's the fucking, it got so cold here. I mean, it was, I mean, with wind chill, it was like, it was down to -2.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah.
But so I didn't announce that there would be a show because I didn't know if I'd have internet, and I still had, AT&T said that they were going to send me a router because they said it was the router. So I didn't have internet at all for 2 days or whatever, and then it just came magically on yesterday, but then it went down again. So it's up now. So while I have internet, we'll shoot the breeze.
If we disappear, that's why. There you go.
Yeah. And as more people come in, we're
trolling.
Oh, your heater just came on.
I know. What do I do? Here, let's try this. We'll flip it around and see what that does.
Oh, that's a little better, actually. Yeah.
Is that better? We'll see now. The thing's opposite.
Your actual voice is much darker and richer now.
Okay, you like that? All right.
It's like
I got a face for radio,
chocolate.
Patrick. You know that. Face for radio.
That is true. Hey, I got I'm wearing another one of my $6 T-shirts.
Wait a minute, damn it!
This is a pretty cool $6 T-shirt.
Well, how'd you get a picture of Jerry on your shirt like that? That's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean,
nice.
I haven't had the internet to do any looking at what the hell's going on. I mean, even here at the house, my cell signal sucks. So their cell tower's down too. So I haven't been able to do anything. So
wait a minute.
You sent me one piece that we will talk about because.
Hang on, Mike. I am not you. Certainly, I am not very white. Ivana, thank you very kindly. Keep going.
But your vocal quality, the timbre of your voice sounds much better with the microphone where you have it. So
all right, then I'll change my direction. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, now you look kind of like Mike because half your face is behind the microphone. But Oh,
there we go. There we go.
Yeah.
Welcome to Smoke Free Radio.
See, now that was damn sexy.
You like that? What is this vaping Australia thing, Patrick? I don't
I was waiting to see if a few more people came in before we talked about.
All right, that's fine.
I'm kind of like excited about that, but we should wait and see if a few more. Hey, Mike, what the hell are you doing?
What?
Mike is in the chat room. He's never in the chat room. He's always busy. Every time I invite him to come on and hang out for a little while, he always has a reason not to. So, hey, he's in the fucking chat room. Maybe he has a minute to come in and say hi.
And we trolled everybody. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, so he says he's working. He's working. I'm working.
That's right.
Yeah, well, Hamish, due to the fact that my internet is so sporadic and we really didn't have any content that I felt like needed to be amplified on Twitter, I didn't go live on Twitter. I definitely probably will edit this video to make a short thing to put on Twitter because I've got a hard on now. I'm super fucking excited. So, and Hamish definitely at some point needs to come on the show. So, I might at some point just start sending out the link one at a time. Because if you come on, I'm going to kick you off after 5 minutes. We're not doing a whole fucking show with, but hey, I just named this when I was rapidly set because I didn't set up a show. I just called it That Grinds My Gears. So Kevin, what grinds your gears?
What grinds my gear? What unprepared professional people. So there's death in the family this past week, and In general, everything went well, but at the end, it was like we were at a clown show. I didn't understand it. I've never seen it in my 53 years, and I thought it was very, very strange. So I'm going to ask a few questions next week. So yeah, that grinded my gears tonight. This afternoon.
Did you actually see the show that you couldn't attend?
I listened to it some on my phone while I was traveling. So with Mark, yeah.
Yeah, I'm so happy that we were able to have him on. I'm upset that you weren't able to be there. I mean, obviously, you had something very important to deal with. And when you told me that it was getting near, I said, "Hey, do you need to have Friday off?"
Yeah.
I may or may not have a substitute Kevin, and I didn't. I figured,
but.
I think I wanted Mark to talk as much as possible.
That was okay. You didn't need me. You didn't need me.
Kevin.
It's interruptions sometimes. Listen to you. Well, that's like a Barry White song right there, Ivana. You complete me.
Well, you complete me, Kevin.
I don't know. You can't get enough of your love.
Well, that is a Barry White song. That is a Barry White song. So
maybe we should have Mike on to sing a Barry White song, and then we'll let him go. I bet he could do it. I bet he could.
Well, yeah. I mean, Mike's got, but I don't know that Mike has. He's a white guy, so he might not have any rhythm.
I don't know. I don't know.
He might not be able to get the cadence going.
That's true.
He might not have the rhythm and flow.
I've got the beat. I don't know if I've got the rhythm. That's all.
So, hey, Kevin.
Hey, Patrick. How you doing?
I'm okay. I mean, I'm warm. I'm inside my house. I didn't lose electricity like half the other people. What really grinds my gears is driving to work when I finally could. So, Corpus is, there's Corpus Christi, and then across the bay, there's Portland, Texas, and in the other direction, there's Padre Island. Now, to get to Padre Island, you have to go over a really big bridge, and to get to Portland, Texas, you have to go through like a 3-mile long bridge to get to Portland. Okay. Well, obviously, the weather, the roads, for 2 days, the bridges were all closed. So if you were in Portland, you couldn't come to Corpus. And if you were on the island, you couldn't come to Corpus. And if you were in Corpus, you couldn't go either way. But
like Ohio.
I still had patients that I could see here in town. If my little hatchback, because, I have a little all-wheel drive hatchback, but all-wheel drive doesn't do shit in ice.
No.
So Monday I didn't work, and you could see, like, I could stand out my front porch and look and see the roads were just a sheet of ice.
Right.
So then the hospital that my wife works at had so many nurses call and say they couldn't get to work that Monday afternoon they called a code yellow, which means that everybody has to come to the hospital ASAP.
Yeah.
So, my car is all-wheel drive. My wife's car is front-wheel drive. So I threw the wife in the car. Well, I didn't throw her in the car. She packed a bag and got in the car. And I got her to the hospital. No problem. The roads were mostly okay by the afternoon on Monday.
Mm-hmm.
Got her there, dropped her off. She fell in the parking lot going into the hospital, busted her butt. Wasn't hurt, just her pride. Then, I got home, and then they declared a state of emergency because Tuesday evening we had another frost storm, another sleet storm or whatever.
Yeah.
So she had to stay at the hospital all night Monday night, all day Tuesday, and they let her come home at like 9:00 Tuesday evening. It had warmed up above freezing. So I went and got her home, and on the way home, driving home from the hospital, she's buried in her cell phone because she hasn't been able to touch her cell phone the whole time she's been in the hospital. So she's not paying attention. Like I'm driving and I'm like, look at how dark it is.
Yeah.
5 miles later, she looks up and she goes, wow, it's really dark. And I was like, yes, there's no power in this side of town. Like half of the town has no electricity. But that also means none of the traffic lights work.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that
slide.
no, it was fine. But it also means that you have to rely on everybody else taking their proper turn at intersections.
And with knowledge that they're all stupid, nobody does.
So, like, I'm like, okay, it's my turn. I'm gonna move. I start to move, and then somebody move, and I'm like, son of a mother.
I'm the guy to the right. Stop moving.
So finally, we get home, and then I'm like, hey, by the way, there's no internet. What? There's no internet?
You didn't want to
but we have water, we have electricity, we have cable, everything.
We have each other,
except the internet. No internet.
We have each other.
This is like the worst first world. We are in the side of town. Everything works, but yeah, the water was a little low power, and there was no internet. And I'm just like, she's like a crack, she's like a drug addict, like looking. You can tell she's like, oh my god, there's no internet. How am I gonna Facebook? And I'm like, and the cell works, but it's really slow.
Yeah.
So yeah. It was, but by and large, I think by Sunday it's gonna be 70 again.
Right. Yeah, we're gonna be back in the 40s next week. So
yeah.
It's not any fun, though. And for God's sake, if you're at a stop sign, the guy that stopped on the right first is the guy that gets the right of way, or a light that's not out. Stop! It's a stop sign.
I have literally driven all over the world. I think I've probably driven in 19 countries.
And America is
I've driven in some of the most aggressive places in the United States. I've driven in Washington, D.C. I've driven in Manhattan. I've driven
Boston. Been to Boston?
In Atlanta. I've driven in Boston, Baltimore, all these places with scary fucking drivers. Houston is the most aggressive drivers I've ever been around. But Corpus, and I love Corpus Christi, Texas. I love it here. But Corpus has the stupidest drivers I've ever seen. Like
they have the stupidest drivers.
they make some of the most ridiculous decisions while on the road. Like just stupid. Yeah, it's but
they're like politicians.
We're all safe. My car's paid for, so if it gets a dent, I don't have to worry about it.
Liana came in. Jay's in the room. Look at
I see Jay McGuire's in the room, and there's more people coming.
They missed us singing.
Kevin, I really am glad that we have such wonderful listeners and friends on Twitter to bring stuff to our attention, because before you and I even noticed it,
long before,
apparently we're quite famous internationally.
I didn't know that.
Apparently. So, we had wonderful guests on the show over the last few months. One of those guests was Senator Holly Hughes from Australia. Yep. And this is really the only news piece I have, and it's because you brought it to my attention and somebody else brought it to your attention. But I think Hamish I think it's Hamish that actually did that. But,
Dad, Mr. Bowley, I don't know.
Yeah. But I'm glad that people realize how awesome we are. I'm gonna rub this just to make it a little bit bigger.
Oh, good.
So this is from the. Well,
I'm big in Japan.
Yeah. Well, he's big in Japan because he's going by comparison. But anyway, this is from the Financial Review. I'm assuming this is the Australian Financial Review because it's AFR.com.
Yeah.
And there it is. There's the lovely Senator Holly Hughes.
I Obviously, she looks awfully tired after collecting tobacco money, right?
She looks like she's giving somebody the go to fuck the hell look right there. But it says the secret money trail behind vaping.
I hope I learned something.
Well, I doubt it, but we'll see. We'll see. E-cigarettes are supposed to stop people smoking, but the money trail shows big tobacco is all over the push to legalize vaping. Yeah. Oh, I'm already upset.
You got a little sweat on your brow.
I'm already upset. So by the evening of October 5, Liberal Senator Holly Hughes knew she had the numbers for her biggest political coup, the establishment of a state inquiry that she would chair into the e-cigarette industry. After months of wrangling, she was ready to celebrate over drinks with two British American tobacco lobbyists.
Amen.
So it says here, this must be a tweet, but it says, "Oh, we love you at Senator Holly." That's from Michael Coulter, the former deputy federal director of the Nationals, posted on social media that night last year, alongside a photo of Hughes in a Canberra restaurant with her arm around him. Coulter's husband, Professor David Gracie, was on Hughes' other side. Gracie, who is a renal specialist at Royal Prince Alfred Hospital, is an advisor to Coulter's lobbying firm. So there's the photo of the lovely Senator Hughes with this dude and his husband. So it says here at 4 p.m. the following day, while the nation was transfixed with the imminent budget release by Treasurer Josh Frydenberg, Hughes and National Senator Matt Canavan, who was also really cool in that hearing, if you haven't watched it, moved to set up an inquiry into tobacco harm reduction, which is newspeak for e-cigarettes.
I like the line. Make sure everybody understands this is newspeak.
So, okay, let me get this straight. Tobacco harm reduction only encompasses vaping.
Of course it does.
So NRT products that might be successful for other people, that's tobacco harm reduction?
Well, this sounds awfully unbiased within the first couple of paragraphs. Continue.
So, in a move that would that tobacco influencers are all over it, I'm already pissing. I'm already pissed off here.
I'm going to mute myself.
Just how deeply big tobacco is entwined in the push to legalize vaping has come to light because one of the country's largest industry groups decided it had had enough. The Australian Retailers Association confirmed to AFR Weekend that it canceled a contract last August with global PR firm Burson, Cohn, and Wolf worth hundreds of thousands of dollars to promote and lobby to get e-cigarettes legalized. AFR Weekend has confirmed that the money from BCW actually came from Philip Morris International in a contract signed last February by ARA's former chief executive Russell Zimmerman. More on that later. The ARA board's decision to drop the BCW contract under Russell's successor Paul Zara underlines how corporate Australia is distancing itself from big tobacco at a time when the latter's ties to politicians are closer than ever. The BCW's revelation torpedoes the argument by vaping promoters that legalizing e-cigarettes will hurt tobacco companies. Okay, I have to be quite confident here. E-cigarettes have not and probably will not, at least for the next 50 years, 50 years, hurt big tobacco's bottom line. Anyone that says that we're taking money out of big tobacco's pockets has never looked at their profit statements quarterly or annually for the last 10 years. Tobacco companies have lost no money. Most of them are recording record profits. So I've never made that argument. Kevin, have you ever said that we're hurting big tobacco's money?
Probably in the early part of this world that I'm in. Yeah, probably. But no, not now. They don't give a shit.
Yeah, we are not in any way, shape, or form.
They're going to adapt. and conquer.
Big Tobacco's money.
No, that's what they'll do.
I can pull up. I can pull up their profit statements for the last several years, and every year is more than the year before.
Mm-hmm.
And at no point was there a decline in their end of year profit statements. Not a single one. So, yeah, anybody that believes that has probably out of touch with reality. But anyway, let's continue. Not only are they putting submissions supporting legalization, they have secret money trail to make it happen. Well, of course, these big tobacco companies want vaping to be legalized because each and every one of them produce vaping products.
Yeah.
That is business protection. That's what they are supposed to do. If they are a large company that has investors and has stockholders, it's their fiduciary duty as the heads of these companies to try to make money. That is their legal responsibility to their shareholders. So of course, big tobacco companies that produce vaping products are going to spend money to try to legalize the product that they make. It's stupid for anybody to believe otherwise. Anyway, the Senate Tobacco Harm Reduction Inquiry that Hughes chaired produced a majority report in December recommending that e-cigarettes should be available through prescription to help smokers quit, but that they should not be sold over the counter. Hughes and Canavan wrote a trenchant minority report calling for widespread use of e-cigarettes to achieve a smoke-free Australia by 2027. Good job. I love you already. So there's no doubt the sincerity or passion of Hughes' belief that vaping is the key to weaning smokers off tobacco, which is backed by some promising overseas research. But that belief puts her in opposition to almost all senior health officials in Australia who cite research on its alarms. Hughes promises its opposition as insincere and based on ideological reasons and outdated health information. So at some point, we might get Paul to come in here because Paul knows what the background for most of these health ministers are. Yeah. And I can promise you, none of them have any health credentials. We went through at some point and went through Patrick. Each and every one.
But Patrick, they have initials after their name, right?
No. Most of one of them is a winemaker, another one's an attorney. So there's like a PE teacher. None of these fuckers have any credentials.
Well, that's a drink word. I forgot my sign.
Oh yeah, I got it. I'm not drinking, but I got peach tea here. I'll drink a little peach tea.
Ivana evidently has a spiked tea. We've enticed her to spike her tea. I love that.
So it says here, Hughes and Canavan dismissed claims by Australian health officials that tobacco companies want e-cigarettes to be legalized because they lead to greater nicotine dependence and more smoking. I am so pissed off, Kevin. I am pissed off.
To dependence or more smoking.
There's never been any scientific proof that there's a gateway.
There is no fucking gateway. There's no fucking gateway.
Everybody, like even the CDC, is like, well, we've not been able to find it, but we know it's there.
The only thing vaping is a gateway to is actual science that nobody wants to fucking read or comprehend. That's what the gateway is.
So anyway, here we go. Hughes and Canavan dismissed claims by Australian health officials that tobacco companies want e-cigarettes to be legalized because they lead to greater nicotine dependence and more smoking. They preferred testimony by a Canadian law professor, David Sweener, who we love, that e-cigarettes were an existential say it for me.
Existential?
Yeah, that one. Threat to long-standing business model of big tobacco. It's close enough. And by the managing director of e-cigarette seller Vaporize, Savis Demitrau, who said that his entire business was about stealing big tobacco's customers. Demitrau was probably familiar with Canavan because when one of his staffers, Jeremy Greenwood, became a lobbyist in 2019, Vaporize was one of his first clients, but Canavan makes it clear he took an independent position, nor was he influenced by Philip Morris's donations to the Nationals. I'm assuming that that's a party. The Nationals, because it's a baseball team here, but I'm assuming it's a political party over there. Swirling Passions. So it says here in the Swirling Passions that tobacco regulation inspires, the untold story is how pervasive the reach of lobbyists and influencers has become in targeting politicians, and the buildup to Hughes' vaping inquiry, triggered in part by the campaign funded by Philip Morris through BCW, reveals just how fevered the push to legalize e-cigarettes has become. Hughes saw no problem with sharing a drink in Canberra restaurant with Cowder and Gracie on October 5. She says her relationship with the two men is purely personal. She and Gracie went to the same school in Perth, but he's 3 years older. I have friends that, at one point I had friends, but I got along with people when I was in high school that were older than me. That's no big deal. Cowder at least appears to have been in the restaurant that night for business. Later that evening, he posted another picture of himself and Gracie there, this time flanking one nation Senator Pauline Hanson with the caption, "Dinner with our favorite crossbencher ahead of tomorrow's federal budget." Now, do you see Holly in this picture?
No, I do not.
No,
maybe
she's not in that picture.
I don't see a reflection, and I don't see a connection. I don't see correlation, but all right, we'll move on.
Okay. So another photo shows Hanson's table, including Cowder's client, British American Tobacco's head of government affairs, Josh Fett. I have not met with Cowder's tobacco clients, retail or otherwise, nor did I have dinner with Mr. Fett or Pauline Hanson. Hughes told. So she was there, but she says I wasn't at that table.
But that makes it feel and sound and look, and it's squeezable that it could have happened. Right.
This is controversial territory.
I've been in places in restaurants and all kinds of places where I didn't like other people that were there. That doesn't mean I was with them.
Dude,
I'm here with you, and I don't even like you.
when I was with the United Nations, I was in Colombia at a 5-star steakhouse in Medellin with some special forces like security guys.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact, because they told me, about half the restaurant were full of cartel people. So I ate a meal with cartel people.
Well, I think you're a shill for them then. You must be.
I must be a heroin dealer now.
You have to be.
So this is controversial territory. Australia was an early signatory to the World Health Organization's treaty, the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control, which in Section 5.3 requires governments and politicians to protect healthcare policies from commercial and other vested interests of the tobacco industry. Now, I have a question. Is there a Section 5.4 that requires the government to protect the public from unfair and undue, what does it say? From commercial and other vested interests of the pharmaceutical companies?
I don't have it in front of me. That sounds familiar.
Yeah. So guidelines on Section 5.3 issued by the Department of Health say that public officials, including politicians, should not attend social functions with tobacco company representatives, and that meetings should be reported with at least 2 officials present. So, well, for one thing, if that were an actual dinner, there are 2 politicians there.
Mm-hmm.
And if that were the case, then they didn't break any rules. I don't know. It's not clear how to treat personal relationships under the guidelines, says Barrister Jeffrey Watson, SC of the Center for Public Integrity. So if you went to high school with somebody that worked in the tobacco industry, then you had a friendship with that person before they were with the tobacco industry. Does that mean that you can't have a relationship with those people? You can't have a personal relationship. Your kids can't play,
Mm-hmm.
These guys are all this is a lot of ifs and ands and maybes and possibly. And what's that word you always use?
Modal verbs.
Modal verbs. Yeah, that's the one. But there's no way. There's no way in the world she should be on the committee, let alone chair of the inquiry, Watson says. So that's the lawyer. That's what a barrister is over there. Anyway.
You know what that says to me? They're afraid. They're extremely afraid.
Hughes did not respond directly to questions about Section 5.3, but said, I have been transparent with all of my relationships. She sees legalized vaping as a mortal blow against tobacco companies, maybe in 50 years, as smokers switch from cigarettes, which means 5.3 strictures don't apply. Of all the attacks we receive, the most vile is that we are in bed with the tobacco companies. Hughes media advisor Jennifer Havila says quite the opposite. I actually emailed Jennifer when I was arranging for the show. PMI is the only tobacco company still making direct donations to the Nationals, about $200,000 since 2014. Okay, so in Australia, since 2014, and we're in 2021, so 7 years. In 7 years, Philip Morris International has donated $200,000 to members of the National Party, and then another $115,000 to members of the Liberal Democrat Party. So, in the United States, they give that much to like one politician in 1 year. British American Tobacco has skipped donations and focused on politicians. In 2019, Cowder posted a picture of Gracie with Hansen on Cape York, noting relationships are everything. You can't expect people to listen to you or work with you if you don't hold genuine relationships with the people you want to do business with. It's exactly the same in politics. Yeah. Okay, so there's a picture from Twitter or from somewhere. Says here, Cowder has also put a lot into his relationship with Hughes after posting on her personal Facebook account that she faced a lonely festive season. Hughes spent part of Christmas Day with Cowder and Gracie, with Facebook pictures showing the three arm in arm, beautiful poise she posted, and another rhapsodizing over the cake that Gracie had made. Cowder did not immediately respond to questions from AFR Weekend. So on January 23rd, Hughes was in another restaurant with her two friends with Cowder's hand on her side. Amazing lunch with super fun company. So apparently she has friends.
I'll be damned. Look at that.
So they're upset. Maybe the person that wrote this article just doesn't have any friends.
Very
so it
lonely.
says here, all of this would be unremarkable, except that through this period, Hughes has become increasingly critical of anti-vaping campaigns. Good. So, here we go. In a January 31 interview on a U.S. internet site, Son of Liberty Radio,
what?
She called the national manager of the Therapeutic Goods Authority, Professor John Scarrett, a smart arse.
Now stop right there.
Said,
you know when an author in another country has the time to sit and watch our show to get a quote, they are lonely. Or go ahead.
I think whoever's been writing this has been putting a lot of effort into tracking down this woman's every social media post, who she's posting with, whether she has friends.
At least they didn't call us chuckleheads.
What do her friends do for a living? So
repeat that again.
Yeah.
In a January 31 interview on a U.S. internet site, Son of Liberty Radio.
Hey, they spelled it right. Did you see that? You see that? She called the national manager of the TGA, Professor John Scarrett, a smart arse. Said a preliminary report by Professor Emily Banks, Australian National University team reviewing more than 10,000 vaping studies, was embarrassing and fulminated against unnamed colleagues who failed to support her, apparently a reference to Liberal Senator Sarah Henderson, who was part of the inquiry's majority report. I don't remember her talking about other persons.
Not offhand.
Now I have to rewatch the show. I actually don't remember her calling John Scarrett a smart arse.
I don't remember that specifically. but it could be.
Are they hyperlinking out of this article to my Facebook Live? Look at there.
Now, Hamish, Ivana, relax, drink some more. Her magic potion's working. And Hamish, I was thinking Chimpman may have wrote this, but I don't think it's his style. I think he was influential in it, but I don't think it's actually Chimpman.
What? Now it won't let me. Now it won't let me open the article again.
Hold on, I'll check it. Here we go.
Let me see. Let me see.
Facebook Live, and it goes straight to that video. Wonderful.
No, I did that already. I did that, but once I clicked off the article, it says that I have. Okay, I got it open again.
It does go straight to it, though. Good for them. They can.
I know, right?
Something.
Woo! So maybe we'll get some international views.
I like the preliminary report by Professor Emily Banks with 10,000 vaping studies was embarrassing.
10,000?
I don't remember her saying 10,000.
I gotta rub it. I gotta rub it. Ed West says to rub it.
I was so excited to have Ron. I just wasn't paying attention. We have now been cited. All four corners of the world around the earth.
We have now been cited by an Australian financial news. Yeah. That's pretty awesome, guys.
That's pretty new.
There we go. Yep. There's.
I hop on Twitter, and Hamish had it on there, and I was like, "Oh, look at that." He caught my eye because he said slander, and I thought, "Well, what is this all about?" And then about the midway, I was, "Hey, who's that people?"
I think that we need to rewatch that video and make sure that though I would hate to have to call this person out.
I think better yet,
misrepresenting.
We should tag them on Twitter, invite them on the show, have their rebuttal, and then tell them to fuck off. That's what I think.
Well, first, I want to make sure. that everything that they say in that paragraph about what happened on my show was true. Now, I'm quite confident that we did criticize Professor Emily Banks. I'm quite sure that occurred. I don't believe that in any way, shape, or form Sarah Henderson was mentioned.
I don't remember that.
And I don't remember John Scarrett's name being mentioned either. So
maybe she said she was talking quickly. She's a fast talker, but I don't.
That's why I said I need to rewatch the show.
There's so many snippets in that.
That's factual, because then I would have to tweet at Financial Review, "Hey, I was reviewing your show, and as a media outlet, I'm sure that you want to be as accurate as possible in your portrayal of the events of that show." Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna have to rewatch the show, because I don't often rewatch the show.
We're looking for snippets.
Unless there's a snippet that I know happened in the show and that I want to steal and put into the intro of the next show, because I do that sometimes. Yeah. So Hughes has publicized claims by vapors that it was actually anti-vaping advocates who were in the pocket of the tobacco companies, and dismissed the Labor Party's role in the inquiry, tweeting, "They appointed people to oppose. That tells you all you need to know." In the November hearing, she was brutal in her treatment of Banks, a world-renowned epidemiologist who received an AM in Australia Day honors for her research. Hughes repeatedly interrupted to give her own personal account of stopping smoking after she gave up vaping in September.
Good.
Now, see, that's not right. Hughes repeatedly interrupted to give her own personal account of stopping smoking after she gave up vaping in October.
Oh, in the hearing, you mean? They mean, rather.
That sentence makes no fucking sense. Read that sentence.
No.
Read it.
I'll read it out loud. Hughes repeatedly interrupted. Stop interrupting me. Hughes repeatedly interrupted to give her own personal account of stopping smoking after she gave up vaping in September. Huh? What?
Huh?
Wait a minute. Okay, see, now the whole thing is fucked. Everything's fucked.
So that fucking, I mean, she's basically saying in that one sentence that she gave up smoking after she gave up vaping.
Yeah. Well, it is a gateway, you know.
So preliminary findings by Banks' team indicate vapers were 3 times as likely to take up smoking, and that while there were encouraging signs, there was no clear evidence that vaping helped people quit smoking, except for all the other studies that say that vaping does help people quit smoking. Hughes accused Banks of being disingenuous. I've got to say, Professor, you sound like you're a big fan of e-cigarettes. You don't sound like you're a big fan of e-cigarettes, and you don't think that they have much value, which is a bit of a worry since the report isn't finalized, and you seem to have a pretty predetermined view. And that's true. She did say that in the hearing, and we played that clip, actually. In 2019, only 1.9% of Australian ex-smokers reported having used e-cigarettes. Most people just go cold turkey to quit. An estimated 420,000 Australians currently use e-cigarettes at least once a day, but it's illegal to sell nicotine solution here, and they can only obtain supplies from offshore. Of the 420,000 regular smokers, 420,000 regular smokers. So, what? See, now they're doing that thing where there's 420,000 people that use e-cigarettes, but they're still calling them smokers. Of those 425,000 regular smokers, Banks research estimates around 66,000 of them never smoked.
Now, this is why I'm not good in fucking math.
You see this?
This is exactly.
So they're saying that vapors, these 420,000 people are vapors, but they're calling them smokers.
Mm-hmm.
So these 420,000 regular vapors, Banks says 66,000 of those vapors had never smoked before, and that they went straight to vaping, while 225,000 or 55% of those vapors are also smokers. So now, in the middle of that sentence, they redefined the 420,000 people as vapors, but up here they called them smokers. You see that?
And then 54% are also
This is
smoking.
a really awfully written piece now that, you know, we've been reading it, and we're getting into some really bad grammatical. I'm sorry. This is English. Mm-hmm. You Aussies need to learn how to write.
The Queen's
English.
Language, right?
Yes. Vapors are also smoking. So they're saying that 54% of those vapors are still smoking. They're dual users, using e-cigarettes to supplement their habit, which may make them less likely to quit.
Yeah.
So I
don't know if we're
this whole again. You know, the only high point of this article was this part right here. This paragraph is the only good part of the whole article, and that's it. I'm still kind of having. I'm still saying.
I'm kind of embarrassed.
I'm gonna have to go back and read that or listen to that show again, because I don't know that all these things occurred.
Nobody mentioned banning cigarettes. Not once in there that I saw.
No.
And I
why would they want to ban the thing that they get? Like, I don't know, Paul. How many billions of dollars does the Australian government get off of smoking? So
and there's no source. There's no source for this 420 number.
We're on here again.
Oh, we are. I didn't see it.
Yeah, the criticism of Banks appears to reflect a misunderstanding of the nature of the scientific process. Hughes relied on Canavan for the technical analysis. And you know, Matt was fantastic with all the statistical information around those, she told Son of Liberty Radio. So now they're criticizing her for getting Matt Canavan to $17.4 billion. For getting Matt Canavan to explain her stuff that she doesn't understand. So they're criticizing her for seeking out help when there's something that she didn't understand.
Well, I'd keep an awful lot of people busy.
What the hell are you supposed to do?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm going to scroll down. I don't know that we're in here anymore, but so
I didn't even see the second one. It's a long. I didn't finish it because we were coming on so fast, but yeah, I didn't see the second mention.
Yeah.
I'm kind of embarrassed. Even I can write better than this.
This is pretty awful. I mean, I'm not going to read any more of this, but I just wanted to make sure, obviously, if we're mentioned, we have to talk about it.
Well, yeah, of course.
We're here again. We're here again. Hughes, a leading figure in the backbenchers letter, saw her initial position in ideological terms. Really, the issue for me was about personal choice, freedom, and liberty, she told Son of Liberty Radio. But to be honest, I didn't really know that much about vaping, but the guys that run legalized vaping campaign in Australia are good mates, and I know them, and so spoke to them. Again, she didn't know something, so she went to somebody that did know something, and now they're criticizing her for...
I can't fathom doing that. I don't understand. I should ask somebody.
Oh my God.
What?
I think in Australia, I guess they're against people learning stuff that they don't know. Because, I mean, they're criticizing her for like seeking out information when she doesn't know something.
Yeah.
So this is from the senior writer. So everybody, we need to tweet Neil Chenoweth.
There's his Twitter account.
His Twitter's right here. Right there. Oh, no, that's his email. But we should really talk to him about his grammar, because I found like 4 grammatical errors and I didn't even read the bottom half of the article. So yeah. Y'all need to reach out to that guy and tell him that maybe his editor or his teenage child should probably read this article and fix his grammatical errors.
Logan could have done better than that. This post can't be shared. Oh, you sons of bitches. All right, that's fine. I'll while I'm on my flipping of pages.
What do you mean this post can't be shared?
I tried sharing this link on our Facebook chat, and it won't let me do it.
Is it because it's too long? It's showing for me.
Oh, there it went. Nope. In response to Australian government legislation, Facebook restricts posting links.
Yeah, we need to have. We might have to get Paul in here, because that was the other thing that I found out during all this other shit that I've been dealing with. That apparently there's an Australian media ban.
You fuckers.
On social medias.
So Patrick, really the article seems to tell me that if you're
I'm thinking that Australia is turning into like red communist, China or red communist Russia.
Yeah. If I got anything out of this, you're not supposed to seek information unless it's controlled by someone that wants everybody to know one thing.
Well,
that's what
I mean, obviously
like.
they're questioning. They're saying that since she has friends,
yep.
So that's bad. Since she has an opinion and expressed her opinion on my show, that's bad.
Well, of course it's bad. We're chuckle up.
And since she sought out information when she didn't understand something, that's bad as well.
Well, it looks like it went in the chat, but does anybody see that link that I posted? That's weird. I can see it's on there on our chat, but I can't see it on the Facebook chat. Yeah,
I mean, it's on my chat. But
okay.
Can you tweet it? Did Hamish tweet it to you?
He did, and I think I over tweeted him. I'm not sure if I
at least if you go to Kevin's Twitter, or apparently I was tagged in it, so you could go to Twitter and click on it and go that way. I'm kind of
Hamish's tweet. I'm gonna link his tweet in the chat. That way you can follow Hamish if you haven't, and
if you haven't,
the article.
Yeah, I'm kind of chuffed. I'm kind of chuffed that we got. I'm using their language. I'm kind of chuffed that we got mentioned.
I think Neil
mentioned
himself, Mr. Chenoweth, should be invited to the show as well, along with anyone else in here.
First, like I said, I need to rewatch the video and make sure that his claims.
Wait, you're going to fact check what?
Have some veracity.
Why would you?
And if they don't, then I'm going to call him out. I'm going to have him on the show, and I'm like, "How dare you make false claims about my show?"
Maybe he knows Chapman.
I want you to issue a retraction about the statements that you claim were made on my show. And if you don't, I will get a barrister
That's right.
in your country.
We know people. I hope they're listening. What the fuck?
How dare you misrepresent what happens on my show?
I can't imagine the senior editor of anything would be listening to you and me and Holly, of course. But that's good. I like it that we ripped their ass.
Well, I think we kicked their ass in and they're getting mad now. They're running.
Just
we
like
make too much sense. Our shows make too much sense.
Something happened in Montana this week, and I didn't catch the whole thing, but I guess there's a little brouhaha going there too.
Apparently the views of the show have gone up.
Good.
So the longer, remember I did 2 different versions of that video because we had her on and then we had Demetrius on. So the long view of the show has over 1,000 views. The section of just Holly is a couple hundred views. Yep. So that has actually increased.
Good.
Too bad they didn't actually link to the podcast version because we need to get the podcast listens up.
Give him the right link on his Twitter.
And I really would prefer. I really want people to start watching on YouTube because we need to get 1,000 viewers on YouTube. We need to get 1,000 subs on YouTube. It doesn't seem like a lot. We have 17,000 Facebook likes. I mean, come on.
Yep.
It just get some people to go and subscribe on the YouTube so that we can do the YouTube live thing and Kevin can get super chats.
That's right.
Yeah.
Will said you're going to get a barrister.
A banister.
Or banister? Is it a banister or barrister?
We're gonna get a banister for our stairs. We're gonna get a banister, huh?
So, our little show, your little show, this little show,
our little show. I mean, Son of Liberty is me, but
it went global, or at least across the pond down south. On the other side of the earth, where they're ahead of us. I think they're in the future. So I'm pretty fucking proud of that. I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah. We got mentioned 3 times in this poorly written piece of crap. But
obviously, in my opinion,
I don't know how much credibility the Australian Financial Review has, but
well,
does anybody better? I mean, I would have caught those those multiple grammatical errors. There's more than 3. There were three times we were quoted, but there was multiple grammatical errors.
Some of it over the years is just so bad, and this is long. And I blog when I blog, I don't much. Is so long. You're just adding fluff to stupidity. That's insane. Without merit or substance, really.
Did anyone actually tag Bruni?
Oh shit! No, I did not.
Damn it, Kevin! I give you one job. One job, man.
I got all excited. No, I did not. Oh, Ivana just did. Thank you, Ivana. She doesn't have enough. She doesn't have enough spice in her tea.
Making Ivana do all of your work for you, man. That's embarrassing.
All we got to do is try to get a few more people quoted.
I want to get in the Wall Street Journal now. I want to get into a real.
So can we call the Financial Review friends of ours, friends of the show?
I can call them viewers of the show. They had to view the show, apparently.
That'll work. Oh my goodness. It's funny, nobody challenged Eliana or any of the other people we've had on the show. Isn't that funny?
Well, like I said, I think he's probably been having a hard on for her since whatever the first tweet or the first social media post that he quoted her on from back in October
Like stalking her like I do Jerry.
I mean, I mean, apparently that's all he can do is stalk her on social media because everything on here references her social media posts. So this guy
Will asks a question. Can you call them fuckheads? Yeah. Yeah, we can.
There's no way that they can prove that they're not.
Well, AFR is like Australian Wall Street Journal. That's pretty good.
For Australia, yeah.
Yep. That's okay, Bruni.
Bruni apparently just woke up.
The thunder from down under.
So, Bruni, you'll have to catch the replay where we find out that the AFR, the Australian Financial Review, has watched our show, and we're quoted 3 times in a poorly written news piece, hit piece, on Senator Holly Hughes.
It's a hit piece.
It is definitely a hit piece.
I didn't even know what a hit piece was until about 2014. I didn't know what scientific integrity was until around 2014. What?
Actually, dude, I interviewed Mark Block for my magazine.
Yeah.
And interviewed him fair and square, and that turned it into a hit piece on himself.
Oh, David's got a good question. Who owns the media outlet? Don't say it's
okay.
Bloomberg.
I can find out.
If you say it's Bloomberg, then that's just going to make me snicker like a schoolgirl. I have no idea.
Give me a minute. This is a big page. I got to scroll all the way down. All the way down. Let's see.
So somebody worked really, really hard with, what is that? 10,000 words.
The Australian Financial Review is who it is. Dooby-doo. Let's see. Wow, this is a pretty bad
I'm going to read a quote while you look. Eliana, who we've had on the show 43 minutes ago, misinterpreting maliciously science work is counterproductive. It destroys and undermines the hard work that scientists have to do every day to unravel and uncover universal truths. Accommodating a half-truth to your narrative is as bad as lying rampantly or spreading conspiracies. Yeah.
Okay, so they are owned by they are owned by nine for brands and 9 for brands. While our brand has a long history, we also continue to make history for Australia's largest locally owned media company, following our merger with Fairfax Media and our merger with Macquarie Media. It looks like they have ties to Microsoft. They had ties to Microsoft. So it's an Australia-owned company that was founded in 1956. And it's a big media company in Australia.
Hamish says Murdoch.
Hamish says Murdoch. It doesn't have Murdoch's name anywhere here. But it is listed on the ASX, the Australian Stock Exchange, as NEC. They are Australia's largest media company.
So they're powerful.
Yes. So, yeah. the
bad publicity is better than no publicity. Is that what it's supposed to be?
I mean, I don't think nothing in that article directly attacks us.
No.
They just said that she was on our show.
Attacks her.
I know that Murdoch is News Corp, but nowhere on here does it say News Corp.
It's questioning her integrity, period, no matter what.
Yes, and
when
I worked in the news media, when I was in college, I was a stringer photographer, and I took journalism classes in college, and journalism was way different 100 years ago because I'm almost as old as you, but we were always taught that it was who, what, when, where, why, and that was what. Yeah. There was no how. It was who, what, when, where, and why. The 5 W's. That's all we were supposed to report. You're never supposed to put your opinion in there. You're reporting the facts as they were delivered to you, without any color, without any. That's what the news was.
No spin, right?
And now it's no longer who, what, when, where, and why. It's what do you think about it?
Yep.
As a reporter, I'm like, you're asking. The reporters are now everything that the media does is now opinion. It's now op-ed and letters to the editor. And there were always opinion pieces in the media. And I believe that they actually did. See if I can scroll back here without getting geo-blocked again.
I watched my local channel the other night do a piece on how to make fucking ice cream with fucking snow. All the things that are going on in the fucking world, and you're showing me how to make ice cream out of snow with a reporter sitting on the fucking ground with a bowl. And I thought, well, this is newsworthy.
Well, I did get an ice cream machine last week.
Well, I'll send you the clip.
Well, I don't need that now. I have a machine.
But you have snow. Or did you have
No,
snow?
we didn't get snow at all.
You never got snow. Oh my goodness.
We got ice. All we got was ice.
Well, ice cream.
This is actually not it doesn't say that this is an opinion piece. Nowhere in here does it say op-ed or opinion. This is a policy. It's under the policy section of health and education on the Financial Review. It policy, does not in any vaping. Yeah, nothing does it have anything on here that says this is an opinion piece. This is from Neil Chenoweth, the senior writer.
Neil's a senior writer, so in my opinion, he's a dumbass. And if he comes on, I'll tell him.
He would never ever come on, but yeah, it is. No. I'm really, like I said, I want to make sure before I open up both barrels. Tomorrow, I'm going to get up and I'm going to rewatch my show, the first hour at least, to make sure that there is nothing on here that is not true. Because I don't recall. I seem to remember calling Mike or Greg Hunt. I don't remember mentioning the other guy.
I'm pretty sure did Hunt.
I'm 100% positive that we called Greg Hunt bad words on the show, but this guy's saying that we called somebody else bad things on the show, and I don't recall that. So.
Mm-hmm. No. It's a mixed up jumble of intertwining stupidity all the way through this, though.
And then obviously the poorly written sentences has a lot to do with it, and the fact that in one sentence he refers to vapors and calls them smokers.
Yeah, it's a narrative. It's a narrative that's been
and
going
then
on
and
forever.
Then has to use the word vapors because now he's talking about vapors that are still smoking. So in the middle of that sentence he had to redefine the same term 3 times.
All while not discussing dual use and how it actually works.
Right.
So maybe half the vapors in the world at one point or another are smoking, and 10 minutes later they're not, or 2 months later they're not. But that's not explained. With all the space he took up in the fucking article, you think he'd have mentioned that, and quite a bit.
I mean, this thing is like 10,000 words. I mean, it's
a lot. This is
a fucking lot. This is like a novel here.
In the time it took me to see it on Twitter, to click it, because immediately when I saw the tweet that Hamish put out, let me find it. Let me make sure here. Secret money trail behind vaping. Holly, Chapman did the same thing to Mendelsohn. Disgusting, evil. And then the word slander, Holly Hughes, the word slander was like, I got to go here just because I'm not a clickbait guy anymore. But okay, I'll read it. And then I'm like, holy fuck, I can write better than this. What? Are you excited?
I actually, you remember last week I tweeted the picture of the NRT with my, so there were two different threads that I used that picture in. Mm-hmm. And one of the threads, I got a week later, I get a bite on this.
Oh.
So I need to show this to you because
good.
This annoys the living shit out of me. So
I like you annoyed.
I did have Twitter this week, so on my phone. Yeah. So I was able to see stuff, but look at this. So this is this is a PAVE tweet.
Mm-hmm.
Over tweeting a Truth Initiative tweet. So I responded to PAVE on their retweet of the Truth tweet, and I tweeted directly on the Truth tweet. So I put, hey, flavored nicotine gum, not age restricted, placed on shelves within easy reach of toddlers and small children. Yep, you need to take these creeps down. Hit them hard, Parents versus Vape, both barrels.
Is that the one I put the picture?
And then there's my nicotine. There's my Nicorette one. Okay. So then a week later. Okay. You see this right here?
Yeah.
What was that? I didn't remove a tweet. Somebody. Oh, you know what?
Somebody else said something.
Hawkins Caven, who is a vapor.
Yeah. Who doesn't like prohibition? Who does not like prohibition? Go ahead.
Tweeted at me. I don't know what backwards ass state you're living in, but in California, our NRT is behind the shelf and is age restricted.
What?
So, it's a vapor, because on his Twitter profile, he clearly says on there that he's a vapor.
Yep.
But then he said that I live in an ass backwards state because in California, NRT is placed behind the shelf and is age restricted. So I went on the Googles and verified that California does not age restrict, and it is not state law in California for NRT to be placed behind the cabinet like he claimed. Then, when I refuted his claim, he said that he works at a pharmacy. And I said, well, look, sorry, Karen. And I actually didn't have my glasses on.
Yeah.
So it's Caven. Yeah. But it was so perfect that I called him Karen. But you're wrong. The state of California does not age restrict nicotine gum. And neither is it federally. Your imagination is very vivid. It is not required to be behind the counter and is on the shelves all over Cali. You really are a Karen.
Okay,
I pulled
stop.
a Kevin.
So stop. Now I'm on Caven Hawkins' site, Twitter, and they are. It's a husband father, so it's got a girl and a guy. It looks like, but either way. Retweeting Grimm,
right.
Whoever, Kasa, etc. So maybe, possibly, because I've been a victim of both sides of this possible response to something else on a different thread, maybe. So that's possible. So that's why they have deleted it on occasion. That happens.
But he, when I proved him wrong,
Then
he
it was
deleted it.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So,
Very strange. Did you
fact
check him?
I fact checked his ass.
Will's.
I mean, Kevin, you and I have plenty of friends that live in California.
Well, plus we get fact checked when we fact check.
What's really funny though is if I go to the Truth Initiative tweet, that's the one that has all the photographs, right?
Yeah.
So obviously there's my picture again, flavored nicotine products, blah blah blah, small children, yada yada. Then there's your picture.
That's my Kroger. That's my local Kroger. I went in there.
Yeah. Then obviously Clovis is there, and you're there again.
I like that Clovis person.
He's a pretty smart fella. Then Hamish.
Look at this. Look at that.
Hamish is there.
Big yellow stickers to entice you.
Somebody decided that, Wes decided to put pictures of the flavored wine, which I, tell you guys a million times. Every time you make that fucking alcohol whiny complaint, it just makes you sound like one of those little kids that is too small or too young to do the things the big kids do. And you say, well, you let the big kid do that. I want to do that too. I mean, it's an infantile argument. Mm-hmm. I don't know why people keep making it. It's apples and oranges too, by the way. The alcohol industry has been in business for hundreds of years. They have busted ass and fought all of the fights, and they've gone through prohibition and all that stuff. So they've earned the right to sell as long as they follow the regulations that are provided to them.
And they have gazillions of dollars. So
that too. Yeah. There's Didymus there, so
that's
this is the,
Liana has a good point. It may be behind glass if he works in a high theft risk area. That's possible. That's possible. I'll defend someone on a quick shot of their screen, but I don't know, Patrick. But
vapors, it was the fact that he came hard.
Right.
I don't know what ass backward state you live in. Was kind of hard.
Yeah. Yeah. By and large, vapors will go, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. Let me check it. And normally everybody else just blasts something out. Politicians, public health experts.
Yeah.
Some of us do, some of us don't, but I get fact checked more often than I ever thought I could.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ed is in California. He's one of those fucking West Coast liberals. I'm sure Ed could verify that.
I thought all the old people were in Florida.
No, only the old New Yorkers are in Florida.
I love it.
That's where Phil's at.
That's true.
That's where Phil's at. I mean, all the old New Yorkers. That's where they go is to Florida. They go to Boca. You go to Boca.
Oh my god! Hey, toothpicks. Did you hear about toothpicks? Toothpicks. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I know of them. Is there something?
I'd have to find it, but it's something about somebody got on a website underage, and the toothpick people sold something to a minor without checking their age or some shit.
Now, I am aware that Mitch Zeller put out a whole new, very long piece on FDA's website.
Oh, Mitchie, about the what? About
talking.
My son was worried about porn sites.
Oh well.
Well, he's over 21.
They got a pretty good lobby too. So he his pot and his porn are both protected.
No, he doesn't smoke the pot. That's the other goofball.
Oh, well, so you got one guy with hairy palms and the other guy.
That's right. Mark Sliss, I did see that video, and I wish I'd have thought of it. So link it in here so Patrick can see it. Mark's video is funny. Go ahead. Go on.
So, yeah, he talked about enforcement discretion. He talked about being forced to follow the deadlines. He talked about how they were processing PMTAs. So they're still working, and right now they're sending out warning letters for people that are still selling vape products that have not filed PMTAs. So what I said a couple weeks ago when I started seeing people that I know getting warning letters, it was because they didn't feel like that they had a chance in hell of doing a PMTA. They were going to sell until they couldn't sell anymore. And that's what happened, because they felt like that, oh, well, we're going to fly under the radar.
Yeah.
There's none of this fucking shit anymore.
No.
So, yeah, a lot of people that I know that are really hardworking and great advocates, just they realized that they couldn't afford a PMTA. They may have hired attorneys to look at PMTA and been told, hey, you know what? There's no chance in hell that you're getting through a PMTA, so you might save your money. And that's what he specifically said that's who we're going after. So, right.
Pirate,
so, yeah.
You've been tweeting, buddy. I can't find it.
Do I have a massive bobblehead collection? Well, they're not. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
I've requested one from Demi. I want a bobblehead.
You know, you can actually. There's a company that you can send somebody's photograph, and they can make a bobblehead.
Phil
we should make Demetrius one like with broken arms and shit. That's me.
Phil's. Where the hell is your video, Mark?
My two favorite ones you can't see because my big fat head's in the way, but I have two Pennywise the Clowns behind me. I have the one, the Tim Curry one, and the one from the new movie behind me. I love Pennywise the Clown, but yeah, and I have an It lunchbox back there too.
Let's see.
But also there was the USPS has put up on the Federal Registrar website their proposed regulation for B2B. I'm assuming B2B, the process that would maybe possibly allow businesses to ship to other businesses. I didn't read it yet, so I can't tell you any of that shit.
Nope, me neither.
So there is that.
A fig bobblehead would have to have the perfect hair, and it would have to move.
Beep, beep, Will. Beep, beep. So, yeah, there's stuff going on. Now, obviously, I'm not an attorney, and I'm going to tell you this, that people will still be breaking the law. People will still be doing stuff. Now, yes. I do have to put a caveat in there. If you break the law in this case, if you break the PACT Act, it will not be FDA that comes into your store. It will be ATF. And ATF is a law enforcement branch with officers with badges and guns and handcuffs. And if you are found or arrested as a PACT Act violator, you don't go and get a warning letter. You don't get a fine. You get arrested.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that you have to consider. See, this PACT Act thing, everybody is mad that UPS and FedEx have both voluntarily decided that they are not carrying these products anymore. Yep. But you need to realize the amount of shit that they have to do. I'm not going to defend them because they're big ass companies that have attorneys, that have whole legal departments that could probably do it with no problem if they wanted to. But you have to be, as a business, you have to register with the tax collector in all 50 states. The packages that you ship with tobacco products in them have to be registered as such with the shipper. They have to report the delivery destination of every one of those packages. They have to do all sorts of shit that's involved. There's tax collection. There's all sorts of stuff that has to get done, and it's a big headache. So that's all, a lot of shit that has to get done. It's not like they just simply said, we don't want to do it. We don't,
and it's
we're going to bow before the, yeah. Well, yeah, it's the shipper and the
shippy,
the company, the company that's actually carrying it. So if you ship an illegal product, it's your ass. If they are caught carrying an illegal product, they get fined. So we looked at the PACT Act violations for one state, and it was millions of dollars that UPS had to pay in that particular state. So there's a lot of fucking shit that's going on in this. So when I see people that are in this industry that I know have been kind of shady in the past, putting together some sort of vape freight thing, I gotta wonder, are they following all the rules that have to be done? Are they registering with every state? Are they recording every single product that this is a big deal. This is not a little project.
No.
And I'm tired of seeing people scam people in this industry.
Right. In reality,
there are already independent shippers, regional ones and state ones that are in these states that already do this service. It's just that you got to put forth a little effort to find them. But you got to realize that the tobacco gets delivered to rural areas, in convenience stores and places in rural areas, independent little stores in bumfucked Egypt that's not a chain. Those cigarettes get delivered there somehow. So there are shippers that will do this. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's not a matter of good faith and Patrick hopping in his car going from Corpus Christi to Dallas and making a run of it, in a week.
That would suck.
Yeah, it would suck.
Dallas is sucky.
Plus,
it's not Dallas. Dallas doesn't suck. The drive between here and Dallas sucks.
That's why I picked it.
It's like 9 hours of blah.
Yeah.
Blah.
Yeah. Texas is kind of its own country, from what I can see.
Well, we found out this week. So, the other thing is that obviously we've had power problems because of this winter storm, and Texas has its own independent power grid.
Okay.
So we sell power. We have transmission lines to other states, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we produce more power than what we can generally use. However, with all of the infrastructure not being prepared for ice storms, yes, Shannon, that's what the Federal Registrar's website is for. I said that. The grid itself, it wasn't a power generation problem. We had plenty of power, but it was the vast number of power lines down.
Right, the transmission of power.
That was the problem, or is the problem. I heard stories of wind turbines freezing. We have about 1,000 wind turbines within about 10 miles of here, and they were all going. They didn't freeze up. We don't have any solar here. But no, the wind turbines did not freeze up here. It was not a power production problem. It was a power transmission problem. And people that aren't here are reporting stuff that is not true.
Well, yeah.
I obviously, we had power, but it was a transmission problem because we don't have the inline wire. I actually looked it up. I made sure that I knew what the fuck I was talking about. They have modules that are placed every so often along the lines that as power goes through them, there's enough resistance that it creates heat and it prevents the line from freezing. We don't have those.
So
the power lines were down.
Well, let me ask you on another brainwave. Do you guys have coolers to keep them from overheating? Normally, like in the summer in Texas, you're like 150
No,
degrees.
because heat doesn't make wire brittle.
Okay. Well, I imagine the wire. Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if it's tremendous heat, yes, it'll melt. But here, I mean, the power lines don't get that hot unless there's a short.
Well, I think Texas in the summer is like it's a flame. It's always a flame. That's all I can think of.
No.
Right. Okay.
I mean, 110.
Ed being old is in my head. That's all I can think of. So Texas is on fire between March and December. Normally, that's my thought.
Yeah, I mean, this is a once in like 100 years thing. Yeah. We broke records on the low that were over 150 years old.
Good for you.
So,
not good that people were perishing.
Nobody would have ever thought that it was the wind chill would be -2.
No.
So yeah, I mean, it's a
Ohio.
fluke, and obviously, I'm sure we had snow like 4 years ago, which was the first time in like a decade that we had snow, and then before that time, it had been 100 years. So in the last 120 years, we've had snow twice, but this sub-zero that we had was the first time in over 150 years that we had this kind of weather. So obviously with the worst weather coming every year closer together, they might start looking at investing in embedded wire, the embedded de-icers in the power lines. Yeah. And for them to build the infrastructure to bury the electrical wires, like somebody said in the chat room, that's a 20-year project for the state. Well, it's probably even longer than that for a state the size of Texas.
Right,
it's a big deal. So yeah,
power outage for a week or two might happen once in 100 years. Lots of money and time.
Well, we won't have power out for. I mean,
right. Not for that.
By the end of the weekend, the water situation will be solved, and probably beginning of the week we'll have the power situation fixed. But it is what it is. There's not really much we can do about it.
It is a good reminder to check on your friggin' neighbors everywhere, though, once in a while.
Yeah. My neighborhood is relatively new.
Yeah.
So we didn't have any power outages here. I think is because probably the wires are newer and stuff. But the parts where they're not buried. The parts where the power are out, the parts of town that the power is out are the older areas of town. And I think that's probably because the power lines are older and probably needed to be replaced and hadn't been.
Yeah. And power lines snap in cold. Ice is a bitch on them. They are up here. We get it every year. We get it. And
we are like the second windiest city in America. We get wind constantly at 60 and 70 miles an hour. It's not a big deal here. I mean, we're used to wind, but wind and ice not good. But so yes, I'm rather chuffed, Kevin. We got mentioned 3 times in the Australian version of the Wall Street Journal.
I don't know why they didn't call and interview you.
They should have reached out.
I don't understand.
They definitely should have reached out.
It's easy for a senior editor to, flap his typewriter, if you want to call it that, but holy Christ. And I sped read it. I didn't read it all, and I couldn't get to it all because we were coming on, but how bad can it be on a skim?
Apparently Hamish tagged you in the tweet and you sent it to me.
Something like that.
And then almost instantaneously Paul sent it to me.
Tell a phone, tell a woman, tell a Twitter.
So yeah, people are like, woo! Woo! We got mentioned in the Australian Wall Street Journal.
That's so sad. It's embarrassing.
It is. It is.
I'm glad.
It is. But hey, we're famous now.
That's right.
And we got linked. They linked out to our video.
We're famous all the way to the local McDonald's.
So this was published today. So give it a couple days and, let's see what happens.
We might have 10s more hits.
Woo!
Famous down under. Ed.
I got you down under here, Ed.
Old people can type. Ed's one of those quiet, sharp Twitterers.
No, Ed probably has one of those flip phones where he has to text by hitting, with just a regular alphanumeric keypad he's hitting the B button 3 times to get a C,
That's not funny because I've only had this thing like 3 years. So I had a flip phone before this because I refused.
Hey, I got a flip phone right now.
Plus, I don't text.
Look at my flip phone. It flips open like this.
About once a year, give or take, my buddy's daughter. It's a long-standing joke from about 15 years ago that I don't text. So
that's all I do. I never answer the fucking phone ever.
If I was coming to a function, I said no. She said, I thought you didn't text. I didn't answer her. And about a year later, I said, how are you? So about once a year, I do that to her, and she gets a kick out of it. So, yeah.
Yeah.
If you text me, I'm gonna call you. I don't
talk on the phone. I literally, if my boss calls me, I'll spend like 20 seconds on the phone, and I'm like, okay, gotta go. Bye. I don't, but I do live on the text messages and the instant messenger and the Twitter DMs, and yeah, I don't want to fucking talk to you because if I get on the phone with you, you will jabber. I just don't want to talk to people.
There's no voice intonation on a text, and I don't like that.
No, because I just make that shit up in my head as I go. Like, what the hell are you yelling at me for? And they're like, I didn't yell at you. And I'm like, what you said to me? And they're like, no, I was saying it like this.
Who are you today? I hope you have a great day, you fuck. Backspace. I hope you have a great day.
Now, what really annoys me is these people that send a message and I get the alert that they sent me a message, but then by the time I get to the message, they deleted the message.
You can delete your message?
On Instant Messenger, you can delete messages now, which really pisses me off. And there's one person that does it almost every time that they message me.
I don't want to know.
Really drives me crazy. It's somebody that's in the chat room actually. Does this constantly. We'll say something and then think about it and then delete it before I can read it, and it really drives me crazy. I have never deleted a message. But if I open this person's, like if I brought their chat up right now and showed it on screen, you would see like deleted message. And I'm like,
yeah,
stop it.
Well, since you're talking about this tweeting and
are you talking about the voice tweeting?
Yeah, you got the link.
So Logan Exhales has been doing this pretty regularly on like you can send voice messages on your Twitter. Now they're saying they're adding that to the direct message feature, but they had the actual voice tweeting has been a thing for about a month.
Okay, and I didn't see it, and it said, shit, where'd it go? Wasn't it like 3 countries or something?
Oh, they're testing it out in like India and like three other places, but eventually it'll be available everywhere.
So now you can tell Chapman to go fuck himself on live voice at least.
But if you go to Logan Exhale's Twitter and just look at his timeline, he's done multiple voice tweets.
Right. I have not seen that.
Yeah, I think you can do like a minute and 20 seconds or whatever the limit is. But yeah, that's been live for a while. I just never do it. I don't think anybody wants to listen to the sound of my voice.
Well, we were talking about being Barry White earlier, so try it.
Hey, look at that dumbass Aussie.
Which one?
Hey,
oh, really?
Hey,
oh shit!
No. I'm talking about Neil Chenoweth. You need to reach out to him and talk to him about editing his stuff before he publishes.
Paul, actually, I think we should send him an invitation.
Oh, Paul.
Well, I will invite him to the show after I rewatch the show and verify that the statements that he made in his article are true or not.
Yeah.
Because I definitely want to be accurate in my criticism of his piece. There are two things in there that I don't remember happening. So if that's the case, then I'm gonna demand that he come on the show, and I'm gonna demand that he publish a retraction.
Go for it.
But I want to make sure before I do that, because I could be mistaken that all those things did happen. I don't remember that happening.
No.
The two things. I don't remember those two things. So I want to watch the whole thing again and make sure. I'm going to be on the lookout for that stuff. Paul's husband is calling him.
Oh, Paul.
Somebody was calling him. It was his husband was calling him or something. You know.
I wanted to clear up this Tic Tac issue.
Oh yes, we should talk about Tic Tac. We definitely should talk about Tic Tacs now that Paul is on.
Oh, don't start this shit again.
You get him all confident. He's happy to come in, and then you just bam. Oh
no Tic Tacs. All right.
Oh,
enough
you know
enough of that.
You know I love you.
The only people that know about that are people that are here.
That are in that private chat.
You're amongst family, Paul.
Well, there actually are. There are a couple people in the chat that are in that group, but not everybody.
I know. Fucking leave
Just
it
be
alone.
confident. Use your deep voice. Nobody will know.
Barry White, yes, Patrick. Yep. Barry White.
So
now, when he got really close to the microphone like that, he didn't deepen his voice. He just went whispery.
Yeah. All right. Point taken.
Whispery. Sexual chocolate.
call him out, Paul. Call him out, Paul. Tell him to all come on the show. Get a hold of Patrick. Tag Patrick. Make it a big fucking deal.
Look, I'd really like to see some of these authors of the articles that are starting to be released here in Australia actually get brought to account. And for you guys to be, noted in like Fin Review, which I'll tell you right now, every politician in Australia has a copy of the Fin Review. Because
we should what we should do is invite the what's her name, the other female that was mentioned in that piece to come on so that we can question her about her decision making process.
Sure. And Holly has a rebuttal.
Oh, I'd love to see that happen, but
what was her name? Emily Banks.
Not at the same time.
Sarah Henderson. We should ask Sarah Henderson to come on.
I think separately, Paul, if you were thinking together, and the only reason I say that is because I don't want a fucking whatever these fucking stupid shows are, Geraldo Rivera kind of shows. Yep. So.
Oh, look.
Hey, did you notice that the second best vaping news person died this week?
No.
Which one? The what?
The second best media person
Oh, yeah. Yep.
That vapes died this week.
Yep. I saw that.
Rush Limbaugh died this week, and he did vape.
Yeah.
Because he had lung cancer, and then he died. And obviously, I'm the best vape media guy. Or media guy that vapes. He probably, he probably has never been quoted by the Financial Review of Australia.
Probably not. I saw somebody put R.I.P. Rush, one of my friends on my page, my Facebook.
Will Webb just put it in the chat room. I personally, I wasn't a fan of Rush. I had a college roommate that worshipped Rush. He was a ditto head. But I'm not happy when anyone dies. So I saw a lot of liberals and a lot of people that are our friends posting on social media, bashing a dead guy. He's a dead guy. He's irrelevant to you now. Why are you wasting time? Everyone knows you hated him already. Why are you wasting time talking about somebody that's dead? When somebody dies, it's sad, regardless of whether you like them or not.
Yeah.
If you hate Trump and he died tomorrow, it would be sad.
Yeah.
Whether you like them or not, they have people that love him.
People will dance.
If somebody didn't like your mom and they died and they said, "Oh, I'm glad that bitch is dead," you would be pissed off.
Yeah.
Regardless of whether that, So yeah, when people die, it's ridiculous that people get on and post asinine shit. It's we'll get a little geeky here for a minute, but Gina Carano from The Mandalorian got fired because of things that she said that some people didn't like, and they pressured Disney to fire her from the show. You got what you wanted. She got fired. So why are you continuing to bash this person? They don't have a job anymore. They don't have an income anymore, and you're happy and you're prancing around and you're continuing, even though you won. You got what you wanted. I mean, why continue? Doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, I disagree with the decision to fire somebody for having a different opinion than other people. That's me. I didn't read any of the things that I saw. I don't follow her on Twitter, so I didn't see what she said that pissed everybody off. But when I saw screenshots, I was like, well, I don't get it. I don't understand why this pisses people off, but whatever.
Yeah.
It is what it is. It is what it is. This social media thing, people have forgotten how to interact in real life because of the COVID, and they're only on social media now. You're in fantasy land. They're fearless now. Yeah. When this COVID thing eventually goes away, or we get it under control, and people have to interact with other people in the real world again,
it'll be fun.
People won't. Obviously, we've talked about the death of conversation and debate countless times. People can't have a conversation or a discussion with somebody that has differing opinions anymore, because it goes immediately from, normal average conversation to venom and bile in like seconds.
Yep. Sad.
It's bad here in the States, but I'm sure it's just as bad at other places. Yeah. I'm sure it's not just here. Obviously, I know it's not so great in New Zealand because somebody that we know got fucking blocked off of Twitter for something on Twitter. So, yeah, I don't know what, it looks bad to me. It's just like eventually people are going to realize that social media is not social.
No, not at all.
It's fucking anti-social media.
Well, it is in part, and it's not in others. But you were going over, your article in the Fin Review, and then we get in the same week, we get media blackout here in Australia, being able to share media articles on social media because of the Australian government having a stoush with both Facebook and with Google, wanting media companies here in Australia to actually pay for the right to share their content. And then if you have a look, there's another part of the financial review turns around by removing all of the news links on social media. Their media outlook has actually gone down by 13% in less than a week. I think it's quite funny.
Wow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous to me. You would think that these media companies would be begging people, share our article.
Yeah, right.
So that people will click on it and open it and read it.
Right.
Yeah. Because that's how you generate ad revenue.
Right.
For the advertisers.
But what's he putting up there? Oh, yeah, Bill Tarling.
The response.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous, right? We now can't get specific things, even calls to action from Qatar and places in the US aren't being shown now on our feeds.
Geotagged, everything's geo-blocked.
Yeah, correct. And looking at that, I've got a VPN. Sure, I can still look and I can put myself in Germany if I needs be. But the chatter from around the world on what the Australian government have gone and done and gone to war with tech giants is quite stupid. But
yeah,
I
mean, it baffles me, some of the decisions that I see getting made. But yeah, there's no free speech. Will Webb says free speech is never free, but now we won't have to worry about it because it's gone. And then Kevin says that free speech is controlled speech.
Yeah.
I mean, we're looking at. I mean, obviously, if you go to China, you can't access your social media accounts while you're in China.
No, you can.
All.
You can if you've got VPNs and stuff installed. Yes, you can.
Well, but like Demetrius, when he goes over there, his phone doesn't even work.
No.
The Chinese phone that they
workarounds. Yeah.
But the Chinese phone that they give him is not. It's a dumb phone. It's not a smartphone. So. I mean, obviously, there's always. I mean, where there's a will, there's a way. Yeah. But controlling the flow of information is very much a KGB, GRU sort of Cold War, communist sort of thing. We don't want you to know what's going on in the rest of the world.
Just what we want you to know.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. We've got 3 things that have rolled out this week. We've had your article, we've had the media ban, and then we've also had the Prime Minister's office, and he's the head of the country, by the way, get thrown to the wolves regarding rape allegations of one of the staff members. All of this happened within 24 hours. And then the 4th one, here's the 4th one. We are now in a full-blown election year. So what we're watching now is tit for tat with what's going on in the media. So you do this, we'll do that. You do that, we'll do this. You don't want to talk to us. And we have our finance minister apparently sitting down, and the photo that I've seen actually looks like a doctored photo with Zuckerberg on the screen. It actually looks like the photo of Zuckerberg has been placed on the screen in this, that he has been sitting in meetings with Zuckerberg. I just went, really? I don't think you were, actually. You're a finance minister trying to deal with social media giants.
And well, I mean, obviously, Mark Zuckerberg, you can track, where Mark Zuckerberg is so big. I mean, he couldn't leave the States and be in Australia without everybody knowing.
Right.
That he's in fucking Australia.
But the Zoom conversation, it actually looks at his photo, Zuckerberg's photo, was photoshopped into the conversation with the other 4 people.
Well, that's possible too.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Yeah, Hong Kong IP.
I mean, I could take a screenshot of this right now.
Yeah.
Go into Photoshop or Illustrator even, and fucking move your picture to the left and add another person that's not even here. I could put Bill in the meeting if I wanted to, or Bruni, or
I put you with Bernie on his chair a couple weeks ago.
No. Bernie and I really did have a conversation.
No. And I'm a dumbass, so I could do that.
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
I'm not going to argue with you.
See?
But again, are we the testing ground here in Australia for what's going to happen around the world when it comes to media?
Well,
is this it? Well, no, but seriously,
they already control what we can see.
Yeah,
Facebook and Twitter already control what is on our feeds.
Yeah, I know.
I have friends that I'm Facebook friends with. I have to actually go to their feed to see what they've been posting because it doesn't show up on my thing.
Me too. Mine too.
So
I hear.
And the same with Twitter. I didn't even know that Dr. Glover had been banished.
No.
Because they had already until somebody told me.
Oh, it was us. It was us in the chat. Well, as soon as we found out, we went, "What the fuck happened?"
Yeah. So
we're all asking questions.
They're controlling what we already see anyway.
Well,
I watched. I told you I was talking to you last night. I watched Soylent Green last night, and I watched THX 1138 last night as well because you mentioned it, and I just figured, oh well, I'm sitting here. I actually can't get on the internet, so I might as well watch it. And it's. I mean, it's kind of. Soylent Green. The film Soylent Green actually is happening now. Like, because when they made the movie, it was 2020. Was the year that they thought that. And you're thinking, okay, this movie was made in like 1969. They're talking about global warming in 1969. They're talking about environmental issues and blah, 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 and overcrowding and food shortages. And you're like, wow, this is quite prophetic. And then I watched I watched THX 1138 where they're controlling people with pharmaceuticals. They're, if you get too emotional, there's a pill for that. They're monitoring whether you're taking the pills or not. And you're like, pharmacy controlling the world. Okay, I get that. Yeah.
It's quite scary when you look back at these things. That
obviously,
grew up watching.
Obviously, everything is magnified in that film. But you're there's a lot of things that are in this film that are like. And I just watched a video that somebody posted on Facebook of somebody beating the shit out of of another person in the parking lot at a store. Mm-hmm. I think for getting too much water. And then I started thinking of Clockwork Orange. And I'm like, shit.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, you start shaking your head at where the fuck we are right now. We're fighting to preserve access to a healthier thing to replace a dangerous thing.
Yep.
Which, there's any number of references that we could pull out of different films for that. And then you see all the other shit, and I'm like, wow. And then, Will brings up 1984.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch Fahrenheit 451, if you watch that, and there's a new remake of that is awful. I don't suggest watching it. It's horrible. I like everybody that's in the movie, but when you hand... And I'm sorry that we're going off on tangents and films right now, but it has a lot to do with where we are. But there is one scene in that movie where the main character, what is the actor's name? Michael, the guy that was in Apollo Creed, the Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan is like the second in charge of this law enforcement group that's in charge of burning books that are considered dangerous, and everything is on social media. Like they're broadcasting the book burning, and you're just like, yeah, I can see, this is horrible. So yeah, well, Bill Gates, Bruni brings up Bill Gates. I don't know that Bill Gates and all of the other 1%ers. I don't believe in that bullshit of the 1%. And if you look at and I'm talking about America, the richest 1% of the population pays 75% of the taxes in the United States. So I don't know where people get that they're not paying their fair share. They're paying more than the other. Well, it's actually more than 75%. They're paying more than like 90% of the people in the country. They're paying for the cost of 90% of the taxes that are collected are from corporations and billionaires. But I know for a fact, I mean, he's been outspoken that that we're overpopulated and that we should figure out solutions to overpopulation. So yeah, that is not like a conspiracy theory. He does and has been vocal about overpopulation. I actually have gotten both vaccines, both doses of the one vaccine for the COVID. There's no science, there's no proof, there's no evidence. We don't have the technology to build biochips that are that small that could be implanted into a virus or vaccine yet. So when I see people talking about it, I'm like, we don't have the technology for that yet.
No.
So yeah, I see a lot of that. I'm not saying that someday in the future they won't try that, but right now we don't have the technology to build a microchip with a power supply that they could inject into people that would be a GPS tag and do all the shit that everybody in the conspiracy nuts are talking about. Eventually we will.
We've got to reach out to Rudy Wells. He knows how to do it.
Yes, Kevin actually is showing the GPS locator with a microphone and a camera
at the moment
that everybody voluntarily carries around with them anyway.
And texts and calls and posts and bitches.
This bitch listens to everything I say, and then the next thing I go onto Facebook, there's an ad for whatever it is I just talked about.
I did a search 3 weeks ago.
They don't need to implant you with a microchip that tracks you because you're carrying one around.
I did a search for floor mats. My wife.
If you have a Fitbit or an Apple Watch or a Samsung. I have a Samsung Galaxy Watch. A smart watch or a smartphone. It has a camera right there. This one actually has cameras here too. And then if I open it up, there's another camera right there. Right there.
What is that thing?
It's a phone.
No shit. I've never seen one
with a flexible screen.
It's huge.
Microchip butt plugs for everyone.
So
the size of a Tic Tac.
Yvonne, you do not actually have to use Google Talk for your microphone to be turned on and for it to be listening to you.
Correct.
Mine randomly says, "I didn't hear what you said," or whatever the fuck it does. I don't even know how it activates.
And my house, I have Amazon Echo devices in every room of my house.
Those are your friends.
So, when the Wi-Fi was down, my wife would say her name, the machine's name, because I don't want to say it because then she'll come on. And it would say, "I'm sorry, but I cannot connect to the internet right now," because because we're constantly asking what the temperature is outside, or can you turn the lights on or off, or all the different things. My feeling on the matter is if they want to turn the camera on in my bedroom and watch me walk around in my underwear, that says more about them than it says about me.
Good on you, Will.
It is what it is. Yeah. I mean, I have to look before I share screen on certain news sites because there could be advertisements for midget porn.
Bill.
So, because so I got to make sure that I check stuff before I share screen because I want to make sure that the ads that they show in these block ad buys reflect what you've been looking at on the internet.
I gotta stop for a second. You gotta stop. We have some of the best fucking people that watch this show.
We do. I love each and every one of them.
They're making Patrick's just babbling on, and Paul's laughing at one thing, and I'm laughing.
No, I'm seeing it. But I if I don't finish my thought, I'll never get back to it.
I know. Oh my god, I love you guys.
So Will's afraid of Alexa.
Oh my god.
So, and then Ivana. So she's afraid of the Amazon Echo, but I bet you $10 she has an Apple phone or a Samsung phone that has all of the same shit that you're voluntarily carrying around. And regardless of what
you're paying,
yes, and you're paying an exorbitant amount of money to have that, and it doesn't matter what you do in the privacy settings unless you strip the entire OS and you put like graphene or some sort of shit on there. You're still, She says the camera on my phone would only look once and never again. It'd be a horror show.
Yeah, your phone, not hers.
Well, my phone has plenty of bad pictures on there, so hubba.
Do you even love the unsender, Patrick?
I'm not telling you which one it is.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Will's got it right. Yep. You look at a picture of boobs, next minute you got lingerie in your mail.
Yeah. Hey, it's really bad though if you get a package with no mailing label, but the stamp, the postage stamp, or the what is it called, the cancellation stamp?
Yep.
Says Quantico, and then you open it up, and then it's like a dildo or something, because that means that the NSA guys saw your video, turned on your camera.
That's when you worry about it.
Yeah.
That's what.
Well, hubba.
That means I'll have to stop looking at things then.
It's things.
Tic Tacs.
Tic Tac.
No. Remote control devices.
Paul's opening before he opens every package.
I want everybody in Australia to. I'll get you Paul's address, and I just want you to randomly send packages of Tic Tacs to him. Do they have Tic Tacs in Australia, right?
Well, they got Paul.
Fuck.
Oh my God.
Yes, they do have Tic Tacs here, and the watermelon ones are really good.
No, my favorite's the orange ones. I like the orange ones.
They've got a watermelon mint one. Oh, Leanna, shut up. Stop. Don't you dare. No, Vanna, you're not going to know about the fucking Tic Tac joke, right? Fuck.
No.
There's not much to it.
Paul has more color than he's ever had before. He's so embarrassed.
It's a very small story.
Quit picking on Paul, Kev. I can't have Kevin picking on substitute Kevin. It's not nice.
That's right. And I heard you did a good job.
He did.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Ivana, it had to do with a quote from Twitter, right?
Oh wait, let me get my drink. Drink, everybody.
had to do with a quote from Twitter, and relating me as if one of the girls mentioned in one of the articles earlier was my girlfriend. I went, yeah, really? I don't think so somehow. And then all these guys started in the background. Well, it's just like a tic-tac, right? Revving me up, saying that my peck is the size of a fucking tic-tac. And I don't agree with that.
Why would you?
Well, I have people that know what my tic-tac's all about and what it does. It's magical.
He's a grower, not a shower.
Let me get my shovel.
It starts out at Tic Tac size, and then it gets double the size of a Tic Tac.
I bet we don't get quoted this week on the articles.
I think it's fucking hilarious.
Actually, I'm going to scroll back up because I don't remember what the context of that joke was.
Oh well. Here we go. Now he's getting into it.
It's been a couple days, and my memory's not so good. But I do remember there was a plethora of gifts.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm not going back in there.
Oh, I found the Tic Tacs. There's all the gifts of Tic Tacs.
And he quietly just ignored us.
No, not at all. I just think it's funny. Fucking.
You took it well.
Magical. It does magical things, though. I said, fucking.
It's magical.
Well, it does. I promise. It does magical things.
Yeah, it doubles in size.
Oh, fuck.
It freshens your breath. Oh, my God.
We got him. We finally got him.
No, I actually purposely went like that. All right.
Oh, my goodness.
There's a Tic Tac. And then
it has to do with fucking and
Hamish
Hamish.
did it, and Hamish says you're gonna get it. No, Didymus said you're gonna get it.
Yeah.
And then there's another Tic Tac, and then Didymus laughed again, and then another gift with Tic Tacs.
Well, we laughed louder on offline than we did online.
And then there's a when you buy some orange Tic Tacs, guess I'll eat a whole box of immediately. Oh, and then Kevin found a little old lady doing this.
Yeah.
and then she says, "Is that your penis or a Tic Tac?"
Yeah.
And then Pippa laughed.
Paul didn't laugh, did he?
Paul did not laugh. And then he says, "Does anyone know the submission number of a vape company from?"
Yeah.
He immediately tried to change the topic. I got it now. Yeah.
I was asking for a reason. Right?
Of course you were. A raisin or a reason?
And then the next minute I get hit with fucking Tic Tac jokes. And then someone trying to, fucking unbelievable, dickhead.
Oh my God, this has gone downhill.
And then someone asked whether or not Becky Freeman was my girlfriend. And I went, "Oh, here we go."
Oh, that was me.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Now it's not flashing. There it is.
I said something about your girlfriend being lonely or something. I don't know.
That's it. I know. And then the Tic Tac started.
That was Kevin. It was all Kevin.
Well, Becky was worried about the openness and transparency of some bullshit story, and I said, "No, wait a minute now. Didn't you write these words?"
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, and that was the same day I did the tweet about the A to Z of harm reduction.
Yeah,
that really long one.
I like it. I think it should have been featured on the show.
We did talk about it, didn't we? No, because I had.
I wasn't here. I don't know.
That was because you were. Yeah, well, you were supposed to be here, but you know you didn't. You had a death in the family, so you know.
That was a good. That was a good long tweet.
I'll show it real quick.
This is what you call a thread.
This is a threaded tweet, kids. This is one of those really, weird animals that Kevin has spoken about multiple times. So I did a tweet, and I said, what if we lived in a world without harm reduction? And then I went, thousands of kids would drown that didn't have to because there's no life jackets. Millions more of vehicular accidents, deaths, no seatbelts. And then I did the overpopulation thing, Bill Gates thing, overpopulation and millions of unwanted children born into bad situations because of no condoms. And then I went further. I said D, that's A, B, and C. D, thousands more of accidental gun-related deaths because of no safety locks. Millions of flight-related deaths because of no air control. Countless fire-related deaths and injuries because of no fire extinguishers. Millions of food and water-related deaths and illnesses because of no food regulations. And I just keep going. H, billions of dead from nuclear radiation because of no safety protocols. All of these things are examples of harm reduction. So, billions of work-related injuries because of no labor safety laws. Billions of prescription-related deaths because no established drug treatment protocols. Billions dead of surgical-related infections because of no infection control measures. We don't even have to clean the fucking surgery. Let's just do another patient in here. Millions dead from collapsed and unsafe constructions because of no safety codes. And it goes on. This was a really long tweet, but I put a lot of work and time into this, and it really annoys me because it only got 16 likes and 7 retweets. Mm-hmm. I put a lot of time and effort into thinking up random things that, have to do about harm reduction. And obviously the last 3 had to do with smoking. Obviously I like this one. W is billions dead because of ignorance, no science. Mm-hmm. Billions dead of suffocation, no Surgeon General's report. Billions of smokers smoking, no vaping. Billions dead, no acceptance of other humans' differences. It should be trillions because if you go through the beginning of time, all the people that died from wars and feuds and all the things that happen because people don't like people that are different than them. But we accept harm reduction in every facet of our lives except tobacco harm reduction gets ignored. It was a really long thread, and it was that same day that we talked about Paul's Tic Tacs, and
look, he's trying to shake.
We lost focus. We lost focus on our Twitter advocacy group because we were talking about Paul's Tic Tacs.
And he wanted a damn answer, link, something. But your thread is important for 2 reasons. One, you go through how many letters? 26? 26 different points, and you're bringing up all of these subjects. 2, it brings awareness to the other subjects as well. Now, I'm mad at Jerry, but I thought his tweet about his wife's melanoma. I'm red-haired. I'm concerned about my own skin cancer,
I got this thing right here that I need to go get looked at right there.
Blonde hair, blue eyes, and redheaded and all that. So I made awareness of his issue with his wife and the COVID vaccine and all that. But at the same time, the magnitude of smoking as opposed to vaping is the same as the COVID to her cancer issue. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to be a smartass, but I'm going to be a little more gentle this time with him for a change. So it's that kind of thread that we see a lot of, and people miss the second, third, fourth, fifth. You got to look at what's going on underneath.
Hey,
So
hey,
even
Paul. Bill has your back.
Oh, shit.
See? It's an adult show, folks. Please send all comments and questions.
Shit.
To
Bill
Paul.
has your back.
Bill. Fuck.
See?
Fucking hell, Bill. Jeez.
See?
I didn't think Bill was a dirty person, but
Oh, rubbish. That's now. Does this mean I have to go back to vaping cinnamon and shit?
It's the size of a Tic Tac. But yeah, it's cinnamon flavored. Oh my God. Will, every freckle I have is a soul I've collected. I actually don't have one of my own.
Souls? I need souls.
I'm trying to collect tobacco control souls.
so
Really?
Absolutely.
You've done a pretty good job of that though over the years.
Over the years.
So yeah, this week I changed my profile picture to one of the marionette characters from Team America.
Yeah.
Because Paul changed his to one of the characters from Thunderbirds.
Yeah.
Because Team America is a satire of the Thunderbirds.
And Jerry Anderson. Yeah.
I actually got a couple comments from people that were like, "Oh, that's Thunderbirds." I'm like, "No," but Phil messaged me, and Phil knew exactly what it was.
Of course.
He's like, "America, fuck yeah!" So
I haven't seen that. No, I haven't seen that in a long while.
Oh, I have it on my thing. I can watch it. Yeah, it's one that I keep often. Durka Allah Muhammad Jihad.
God.
What?
That's what in that movie they're making fun of Middle Eastern terrorists, and when they go to Turkestan, and when the local Turkestani people talk, the only thing they say is Durka Allah Muhammad Jihad Durka Allah, you know. So yeah, I make fun of that a little bit. That's rude. That's rude. I'm sorry if you're you know of Arabic descent. I apologize, but it is funny as hell.
Wow.
And the Kim Jong-un or Kim Jong-il is hilarious in that movie.
Speaking of rude, I did note a local passed away. I think it was last week. Larry Flint.
Yep.
Who was a huge, yeah, he had hustler, huge First Amendment,
gigantic First American. I mean, he's defending his right to show, you know, badges and boobies
just
and
because,
stuff. But
yes. Freedom of
yeah.
speech. Yeah. It's the D. Snyder.
And if you ever listen to him talk when he was in
yes,
in the Senate hearings in those days, it's like D. Snyder when you watch the PMRC hearings and you hear his testimony and you're like, if I close my eyes, I wouldn't know that he's some stupid heavy metal guy. He's not a stupid heavy metal guy. I love D. Snyder, but that's what I'm saying though is
he liked one of my tweets.
Very well spoken, very informed when he was speaking. You know, you're like, wow, you know, those people at the time were like, well, I never realized that a heavy metal guy could be erudite and speak properly and use proper words
Eloquently.
Yes.
And he ripped
the only famous person that's ever liked any of my tweets was James Garner's daughter. It wasn't James Garner because he was dead, but James Garner's daughter actually liked one of my tweets.
Yeah, John Denver, D. Snyder, and I can't remember the crazy man.
Alice Cooper?
No, Zappa.
Oh,
Frank
Zappa. Frank Zappa was not crazy.
Crazy looking. I'm thinking hair.
You know what's really funny though? Frank Zappa went and got his PhD, and he was a frequent commentator on, I want to say, Fox Business. Like he was very well spoken when it comes to economics and stuff, and he had a show on there, or not a show, but he was a frequent contributor. And if you ever watch the old TV show MASH, what the hell's that guy's name? The guy that played Trapper, the original,
Trapper.
The original Trapper on the MASH TV show, has an investment firm. He's no longer an actor, and he actually is on Fox News or Fox Business all the time. And in the 90s, Dave Mustaine from Megadeth actually had a show on Fox Business.
I didn't know that either.
He's a well educated heavy metal dude.
All of Floyd are educated as well. They're all very heavily educated.
But they don't contribute to Fox Business or No. I mean, they're all political.
Yeah,
all of them, and they all agree politically, even though they won't agree enough to get on stage together and perform together anymore.
Oh, that'd be fun to watch.
That would no. They remember, was it Earth Day or Live? It was Live Aid. It was the redo of Live Aid. When they redid it a few years ago, they got on stage and performed 3 songs. David Gilmour and Roger Waters were like on opposite ends of the stage, and they never looked at each other.
Yep, I remember
while they were playing.
Sad.
And these are guys that recorded some of the greatest songs of the, 70s and into the 80s. I mean,
probably the last 50 years actually. When you look at it overall,
I mean, they're not my favorite band ever, but they've recorded some great fucking music together, and they hate each other so much that they'll agree begrudgingly to take $1 million paycheck to go and be on stage together, but they won't look at each other. That's kind of sad.
I'd take $1 million not to look at you.
I guarantee you that Led Zeppelin will never get back together because John Paul Jones and the other 2 surviving members can't stand each other either.
Yeah, true.
So,
there was talk of that, but that won't happen.
No, but the talk that I heard was that John Bonham's kid, Jason Bonham, was going to be on drums, and that they were going to bring in somebody else to play bass. That John Paul Jones is not going to be part of the new reunion.
Tull's another one. The Canadian band Rush, they're now talking about getting back together to do stuff, but
they won't be Rush.
There's no way in the world.
No, Neil Peart. When Neil Peart died. Now we're getting way away from vaping, but I don't care because I will talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. Music. Geddy Lee and
maybe Hit Parader will quote us.
You never know. We might get mentioned in another media outlet.
Fucking Rolling Stone next minute.
Shit. If Lifeson and Geddy Lee, if Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee want to get together and write music and record music, they'll do that with a new drummer, but they won't call themselves Rush. I can guarantee it. They won't. They might be after Rush, or they might be something. But they won't be Rush. It'll never be Rush with a different drummer.
Impossible.
Obviously, And they never had a feud. They always, So yeah, it's sad because I love Rush.
Yeah,
and I love Led Zeppelin, but yeah, they'll never perform back. That's just the way it is. Yeah, in the intro of the show, Leanna did point out that this would be a BS session, and we would talk about whatever the fuck I wanted to talk about, or whatever the fuck Kevin wanted to talk about, or whatever the fuck Paul is here. Paul can talk about whatever he wants to talk about.
See, but the really goofy part is you and I are geeks. As you know, poor old Kevin there. We're trying to teach him how to be a geek.
Kevin, actually, we were talking about music the other night. Kevin and I had an hour and a half conversation about music because he didn't realize that I was as big a music guy as I am. Yep. And we started talking about rockabilly and Sun Records and all sorts of stuff that he didn't know that I actually knew.
And I know stuff.
Like, oh, shit. And his brother is a famous country singer.
No, he's not. He should be, but he's not.
Oh.
And he's recorded with very famous people.
Yep. He's 60 years old. He's been doing it for 53 years. So, yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Never been without a job.
See, Leanna's throwing herself under the bus about the unsend thing.
Now I'm going to feel hurt if I don't get a message deleted.
I purposefully did not mention, I didn't want to embarrass her and talk that she's the chronic deleter. But she's repeatedly brought it up now. So she is a premature evacuator is what she is.
Yep.
I haven't seen Ivana in a few posts, so I'm worried about her now.
Ivana's gone to get another one of her magical drinks.
She's filling back up. Poor little squirrel.
Well, I don't know that, or I would answer that. I don't actually have the single of Great Balls of Fire that was on the Sun Records label to look at it and tell you what's on the backside.
She doesn't have it.
I didn't say I memorized every Sun Records single. You never know. In this day and age, you could have a Tic Tac and nobody would know.
Including you.
It depends on what you identify as.
Oh my goodness.
So Bill is a huge J-pop, K-pop, Japanese culture sort of guy. He likes all things Japanese and Korean. So he's suggesting a Japanese thing called Love Bites, and he frequently there's a Japanese artist that he worships that he's constantly sending me YouTube videos for that has an amazing voice. So whose husband? Am I supposed to ask Leanna's husband? What?
Ask his husband.
What? I don't know if that's about Ivana.
Oh shit!
If you can. Oh
I seriously wish we could do that same skit or what happened to that poor guy with the filters, and he was a judge or a lawyer or something, and he was a cat on Zoom when he was in that meeting.
Yeah, we don't have that. We don't have filters here.
I almost put "I'm not a cat" on my Son of Liberty. I thought, no, yes. I'm not going to do it.
Oh, I apologize. Bill's corrected me that Dimish, that's the guy that he's always sending me links, is from Kazakhstan, not Japan. I think he's also a baby metal fan. If you are really interested, if you're really interested, go to YouTube and look up just type in baby metal with no space, and you will find a female metal group from Japan that is called baby metal. and it's actually quite entertaining to watch.
Okay.
Is this like fish heads?
There's a really good band called X Japan that's out of Japan. That's a Japanese metal band. It's really good. I don't know that they're still around, but so yeah, we don't have any filters at all. You are correct, Will.
No, filters aren't fun.
I know that Kevin doesn't read books.
Not much,
but
I have. I've
Bill,
got a collection.
Bill has
over
corrected me that X Japan is still on tour in Japan, so that's good. I have a stack of like 20 books in front of me that I have purchased that I want to read.
Oh shit! He's getting a book.
No, I'm
there.
not.
I'm just getting.
Yes, he is.
As an example for anybody like Cherry, when Dr. Glover was on, she was mentioning books, and Cherry probably bought every freaking one of them, in my opinion. Here's one you need to buy: Tobacco Knock or Natch.
Knocked.
Yeah. Knocked.
Okay.
Knocked.
So that's Michael McFadden.
Are you actually reading it, or you just bought it so you could hold it up?
No, I just bought it to hold it up. Dissecting anti-smokers' brains, among other things. I've got other stuff, but yeah, there's a few books in here.
What is it? I saw an e-cigarette at the convenience store advertised on the door of the convenience store, and it wasn't called an e-cigarette. It was called a biddy, or it was a word that I'd never seen before, but it was definitely an e-cigarette.
Yeah.
Here, not in Australia. Here, it was advertised and called that. I had never seen that before. Yeah, that's the other thing that during this pandemic, Corpus Christi has I'll get to that in a minute. Corpus Christi has refineries from all of the major fuel companies here, but due to the power outages, they haven't been able to process anything this week. So the prices of gas in Corpus went up like 70 cents in one day. And I'm like, are you telling me that they throttled down production, but they have so much in storage over there that they're artificially causing a price increase? It's ridiculous.
Somebody was making Paul wheeze.
Yeah. Well, you'd have to replace the word dick with Paul. But I would never write a book about Paul.
Yeah, but that's ever so true because I only have one ball.
Okay, now we've gone lower. Just one drop.
That's
he's a monopod. A monopod.
Oh my god. So did you read more this pandemic?
No, I have 20 books in front of me that I want to read.
Oh my god, I've got one. So
that I want to read that I haven't been able to read.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
I'm not going to show them because there's naked midgets in them, and you wouldn't know.
That's what most of my books actually are. Yeah. I have a small collection over there. The ones I really, really like. The rest I've recycled to other people.
Are they like Green Eggs and Ham?
Yes.
Curious George.
Yes.
Mike Mulligan and his steam shovel.
Oh, the places we go. Oh yeah, and Logan has. Well, they're not over there now. He's got about 30 already.
Now I've read this book before.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is Frankenstein, but this is one of the ones that I want to read. but there's other ones here too.
And then when Paul and I are zooming, I read these to him. Zoo babies and playful puppies and Tic Tacs for you. And
Paw Patrol. Paw Patrol.
What?
Paw Patrol.
Paw Patrol? What?
Paw Patrol.
We haven't seen that yet.
You haven't seen Paw Patrol yet?
I know what it is, but he's not interested.
When I did pediatric therapy, I would go to the kids' houses to do therapy, and they were addicted to Paw Patrol.
Yeah, he's into Choo Choo something or other, and he likes Morphle. I never heard of that one either. They're newer, so
I watched Space Sweepers, Bill, on Netflix. It was actually good.
Hey,
yes,
Patrick.
It was an international production, so there was people speaking like 5 different languages in there.
Oh, Patrick, have you sent those packages to? Because I noticed Jennifer's in the room, and I was curious.
Here we go.
Just checking.
So Jennifer fell asleep and had to wake up to pee because old people have to get up and pee
People
in the middle of the night.
Oh.
It's right up there, Jennifer. I can see it. Your comment is still there. Now it's there twice. So did you get up to pee twice?
Yes, recycled midget.
Now that she has pillow hair, we should ask her to come.
There you go. She can yell at you.
Yep.
For what?
For denial.
I never denied it. I just haven't been to the post office.
No, for denying her.
No.
Oh, relax, Paul.
Come on, Jennifer. No. Come and hang out with Paul and Kevin and me.
Oh my god.
Let's just fill the whole room up like Brady Bunch style.
I can't imagine Phil is any more excited.
And Sean Casey is saying goodnight, but he hasn't said anything the whole show. I didn't even know he was there.
What the fuck?
He's like night, folks. And he hasn't said hello or anything the whole time. Damn rude Canadians.
Jennifer, we're not even on tonight. This is a nightmare.
That's too kind. It's much worse than pillow hair. Boy!
She doesn't have her makeup on. She's probably in her jammies.
I can't ask that question.
The storm excuse. Yeah, the roads were too icy. That's what it is.
No.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't even supposed to do a show, so. But yeah, the Australian financial news guy is probably watching this going, these guys are a bunch of dickheads.
Yeah. Well, fuck him.
Or smart arses. Smart arses.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Smart arses.
Well, that's what she called whatever.
So we got to watch last week's video, or not last week. We got to watch
3, 4, 5.
3 weeks.
Holly Hughes's video.
Yeah.
And see that did she mention Tom Skerritt, and did she call Tom Skerritt a smart arse?
Well,
did she? Well, she did. I'm quite sure that she said that. I have to see whether she used the word embarrassing in reference to Emily Banks' review, and whether or not she said anything underhanded or whatever about her cohorts not supporting her, specifically Sarah Henderson.
Yep. Senator.
Otherwise,
Henderson,
they're inferring things from somebody. You shouldn't make inferences.
Mm-hmm.
If she didn't mention Sarah Henderson, then you shouldn't fucking mention Sarah Henderson. You are making inferences based on your own opinion of what she was trying to say. So this is not a news person.
No.
And if if all you got out of that was one or two comments that you're trying to twist, then you didn't watch the show anyway. So,
yeah. What was your tweet this week, Kevin?
Which one? Hers?
The one that reflected a quote from her.
I'd have to go down a little ways.
I'll find it before you do.
You may. We'll see.
But at your age, you don't work as fast.
We'll find out here in a second.
Well, the key behind
Question from a colleague. Why don't I use a patch? Holly Hughes asked, do you smoke? Colleague, no. Holly Hughes, have you ever smoked? Colleague, no. Holly Hughes, well then, shut up then. And I clapped. Yep. That was that. That's the quote.
They should have quoted that.
Why couldn't they have quoted that?
Well, I know why they're doing what they're doing right now.
Because she's getting the responses from her inquiry that they didn't answer during the hearing. This is the deadline, So I mean, obviously there's that. There's
no.
Election.
The deadline's actually this week for all of the questions on notice.
Yes,
and they're trying to throw her under the bus with the rest of us. They're
throwing her under the bus for that. It is an election year, like you said. They're getting their budgetary stuff lined up. That was the things that she said when she was on the show the last. Yeah. So there's a lot of shit that's going on right now. So yes, they're trying to discredit her. So that on the heels of that piece, that she's going to call them all back in. And I guarantee you in a week, there will be a follow-up piece covering the things that happened this week.
Correct. But
so
put it this way. Put it this way, Patrick. You won't really put in a bad light. But the key behind it is that you've actually got to the top of all media here in Australia when it comes to finances. And if you look at anything that Murdoch does, anything that, we've only really got 2 news agencies now. I agree, Eliana, we will survive. But being quoted and being linked to in that has given you amazing exposure now. And
I still haven't found any link between, but nothing that I've shown so far. You mentioned Murdoch, but I want to be able to definitively tie Murdoch to that company because it doesn't appear.
No,
it doesn't appear on his stuff, on his holdings.
Well, it's News Corp.
I would be
we call it.
But it's not News Corp.
Who?
News Corp's not listed. Yeah, News Corp is not listed as an owner of that. And it's not listed as an owner of the parent company of Financial Review.
Right. Well,
but I mean, it could easily be, but Murdoch tends to be like Fox News is his company here, has been mostly vape friendly. So
right.
I wanted to show Mark's list video. I want to show Mark's list video real quick. I think I did. Let me stop for a second. Let me make sure that I click the right button so that we have sound.
Mm-hmm.
I am Big Toothpick.
I am big toothpick.
God.
So he's not admitting to being a Tic Tac, is what he's saying.
Well, he's got a big toothpick.
Yeah. So I'm quite happy that we got mentioned in the Australian Financial Review. I think that's hilarious.
It's owned. It's
but
owned
I want to
by-
verify. I
It's
want to
owned by
verify.
Fairfax. It's owned by Fairfax Media, Nine Publishing. So, yeah.
I want to verify the comments. I don't have that show memorized, so I want to I'm definitely going to invite the guy that wrote this because I have to talk to him about his grammar for sure.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, that one paragraph alone where he's using smokers and vapors and people, the number of people that vape, and then he uses that same number as the number of people that smoke, and then talking about, I got to hit him up on all those things because that's.
And then you can refer him to other guests like Dr. Glover.
Well,
Eliana's
Eliana's in the chat room, so we
exactly. So there are verifiable things you can do to be a journalist.
Yeah, unless you're going to admit that you specifically have an ulterior motive and preconceived notions about what this is, and you want to immediately assume. So if you have two trains that are on two different tracks that are running side by side, those are still two trains. So why is it that you would assume that just because Big Tobacco is promoting vaping because they make vaping products, do you have to associate the guys that are also trying to fight for vaping that are independent as being the same people? Just because they're working towards the same goal does not mean that for any reason that they have to be associated with each other.
They don't want to admit that tobacco is actually, whether it looks like it or not, going, hey, wait a minute, we need to change our model. Hey, this is a safer product. Hey, we should sell it too.
Hey, we should stop selling. We should promote products that don't kill the people that buy them so that they can buy them more.
Because you have soft drink and you have diet soft drink. And you
why is
whatever.
Eliana poor as fuck? Who mentioned?
No idea.
Why are you poor as fuck, Eliana? I don't know.
We will survive. I saw We Will Survive. I didn't see that one.
I see We Will Survive because she's singing the Gloria Gaynor song. I will survive. First I was afraid, I was petrified. That's all I know, actually.
So when you mix tobacco in vaping, that way you have people rooting for the people who hate vaping because those people also hate tobacco. And I fell into that at first too. Ooh, those evil, bad tobacco companies, those bastards. That's not necessarily what it is. It looks like it though, and they paint a picture. So I never had one time a tobacco executive come to my door and say, "Kev, here you go."
So I did watch this week. Demetrius and Phil did a show. Even and you could see that Dimitri. He looks a little better. His arms are still broke, and he went to the surgeon this week, and they put new casts on his arms and stuff. But
he was in pain.
During that show, they were talking about the mail ban here in the States, and that DHL apparently has now said that they're going to voluntarily stop carrying vape products.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is quite worrisome because most of the packages that come from Asia to us here in the States are on DHL. So Eliana says, one day I will go to Geneva, to the UN, to the Human Rights Council. I will have some shit to say.
Ooh.
Well, Eliana, you're welcome to come and say shit anytime you want here.
Bring those molecules. I'm a big fan.
I'm almost at the point that I feel like that regardless, I've been saying that I want to build an army of scientists to hit these motherfuckers with science. I'm almost to the stage where I feel like I think that if we provided, incontrovertible evidence to them, scientific proof, they would deny it. That they would still deny it. They would still say no. That's.
They already do. They already do.
Now, Will, I'm not going to say that they're not going to lose some money, because obviously vape products get sold and get shipped, and they make some money. I'm not going to deny that. I will say that it won't even be a hiccup on their budget, though. That their the profit and loss statement at the end of the year. Vaping industry is minuscule compared to all of the other things that they do. I see other people making that comment, but these are also people that multiply the number of people that vape, that multiply the value of the industry as a whole. The independent vapor space is tiny as an industry in comparison to literally every other industry. So I don't imagine that they're going to shed a single tear for the drop that they're going to lose. I just don't believe it. I mean, I know plenty of people in this industry, and I have a good idea of how many companies are in the industry that are still around. I'm not talking about vape shops, because I keep getting differing numbers of vape shops. But if vapor disappeared, it's like these are the same people that think that we're stealing huge amounts of money off of the big tobacco account. And that just isn't so. It just is not true. I mean, you can look at the P&L statements for these companies for the last 10 years, and it is a steady increase in value for them. They're not losing any money. And if they're losing money, they're making it up in other categories. So we can't use that argument.
It's a threat.
Long term,
coming.
Long term, yes,
it is.
If we were allowed to be regulated in a fair and just way, 50 years from now, we would destroy them. 100 years from now, we would destroy them. But, yes, big tobacco is in the vape industry, but they've been in the vape industry since the fucking first day.
But they're not shipping like millions and millions.
I mean, if you've been around as long as I have, you know where the e-liquid that was in the original Views came from. And it wasn't from them. It was from an independent vape company.
Correct.
I know them. I know the people that did it. Big tobacco has been here since we invented this industry. You may not know that, but yes. Johnson Creek made the e-liquid for the first Juuls. Or not Juuls. The first Vuses.
Well, I wish I could do that.
So, whack. Yeah. I mean, they've been here in independent vaping. The Johnson Creek was the first big vape company. I have e-liquid that Johnson sent me when they were doing ECF posts. So yeah, they were producing for big tobacco from day one.
Well, there's been a number, right? Even all right, we want to get on this topic, sure. There's also been concentrate companies that have been working in the background with big tobacco ever since day one.
There are concentrate companies that are probably owned by big tobacco.
Correct. No.
But, I mean, there is a blurry line.
Yeah.
But yeah, for people to say that they just suddenly started getting into the vape industry,
no,
that's not true. They've been here since day one.
Yeah.
So yeah, the moment that they figured that there might be a way to make some money, they're going to figure out a way to make money. That's
that's what they do.
So, well, Johnson Creek's out of fucking business.
Yeah.
Well,
Because they saddled their fucking wagon. They saddled their wagon to the wrong fucking pony.
Yep.
They're
are Big Vape.
Where is Big Vape? Well, let's see. Vapor Beast is owned by Big Tobacco. Giant Vape and Avail.
Yeah.
You can't tell me that they're not part of a big tobacco company. They were. They admitted they were, and then suddenly they released a press release a few months later, or a little bit over a year later. But if you look on the fucking holdings report for these companies, they're still listed.
Mm-hmm.
So there are. I mean, Vapor Beast is openly owned by a fucking big tobacco company.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, and they're a big fucking distributor. So there are companies, and there are other companies that haven't announced. But if you can put one and one together and get two, I can show you some links if you wanted to, where there are independent vape companies that are quite popular that on the outside appear to be independent vape companies, but are very transparently.
Yeah.
If
Tobacco.
you look, if you can, go from dot 1 to dot 2 to fill in the dots, you can fucking get to the fact that there are open vapor companies that are owned by tobacco companies.
Well, I went down this rabbit hole with Kevin.
It's not a fucking deep rabbit hole, Paul. I can do it in like 4 steps.
So can I. I can, but
3 steps.
I can go 3 and then add 1 that links everything together.
Yeah, you don't even have to go that deep. Don't even have to go that deep. I don't want to burst people's bubbles. I've been saying this for years. Big Pharma is our enemy.
Hmm.
Big Tobacco we don't like. But they're also sort of like over here going in the same direction that we're going. I don't like them. I will not ever fucking do business with them. No. It is what it is, but yeah, I mean, for people to blindly believe that they're suddenly getting into vaping, it's just not true. It's not true.
They've been paying attention the whole time.
And no, Ed West, do you think that they're going to shell out money? They don't need to.
No.
They absolutely don't need to. They're going to wait for the companies that they don't own or that they don't have interest in to go through PMTA. And at the end of the day, if you read that fucking thing from Mitch Zeller this week on the FDA's website, if you read it, it clearly says, without actually saying, we're going to close these businesses at the deadline, regardless of whatever they submit, because they're not going to submit everything that we want. And we're not going to tell them exactly what we want.
Nope.
And, like he's talking about the number of substantial equivalency applications that they've processed. And they've focused mostly on the substantial equivalencies. They're going to knock those out. And he starts talking about the number of applications, the millions of products that they got applications for. And he specifically mentions multiple times that there is a deadline that they have to be reviewed by. If they're not if you don't receive an approval letter by the end of that deadline, that letter, I mean, that you can go read it. I'm not making this shit up. He says we are required to follow the letter of that judge's ruling.
Correct.
So if he's talking about we're not even starting the PMTAs, until we do all these other applications, and we only have it. There's a deadline that is a fucking hard deadline that we have to follow. And their application, they have 1 year from that fucking PMTA deadline date to approve them applications. If we don't read those applications and get them processed by that deadline, they have to pull their shit off the market. Why would Big Tobacco step in? They have all the fucking time in the world. They can wait to decimate open vapor. They own a couple open vapor products. They can be very patient and wait for the market to be decimated and then put in their PMTAs for the well, a couple of them already filed their PMTAs. But they can wait till doomsday, and even if their PMTA doesn't get processed, they can hold that product off the market until their PMTAs get approved and then reintroduce those products. And then they own everything.
Yeah, but all right. Some of us that have been in the industry for quite some time, on the back end of it, in liquid manufacturing, developing stuff like that, we knew what the deal was. When deeming got handed down 8816, we all knew. But
no. The deeming got handed out in 14.
Right, yeah. But 8816 was when it was
no new flavors.
Right. Then we've watched this PMTA fiasco go on for how long now? With still no clear guidance. And now they're giving us a whole new term of what we need to do, what we don't need to do, what we have to make disappear, what make appear, and some of the testing that they're asking for doesn't even compute. It's not even possible to do that testing yet with the data sets that are available.
What I'm saying is I'm just addressing Ed's comment.
Yeah.
Don't even have to get into the PMTA stuff. Other than they can buy up companies in open vapor, and submit PMTAs and hold that product. They have enough money.
Correct.
They don't have to worry about selling that product.
Mm-mm.
They can put in PMTAs for new products that have never been sold, and hold them off the market until they get marketing orders and then put them out.
Yeah, I know.
They can buy up companies that are already submitted.
Yep.
Do new PMTAs for the products of those companies that they just bought.
Yep.
Withhold them from the market until they get marketing orders after the market has been decimated, and then they will own the fucking industry. Well, and like I said, I know that there are products that are on the market now that have PMTA submitted that are owned by big tobacco companies.
Well, I can name. No, I won't go there.
I'm not going to name names because there might be people that like those products. So Kevin keeps throwing in this stuff. Bill actually quoted stuff from that as well.
Yep.
Yes, but Will, they can amend or resubmit any PMTA that has already been submitted.
Correct.
So if they buy a company that put in shitty crayon cut and paste PMTAs, they can resubmit a whole new PMTA for those products, or submit an amendment to those PMTAs that are already on the market. If Paul submitted a PMTA 6 months ago, at any time now, that if as long as he hasn't received a fail to file letter or did not file letter, a DNF letter, he can amend it. And even if he gets a DNF, he can still resubmit it.
Correct.
So, yeah, they have all the money in the world. They have fucking labs in Switzerland that look like spaceships. They have. I mean, I've mentioned that multiple times. There's a video on YouTube, I think that's a walkthrough tour of their science lab in Geneva, Switzerland. It's beautiful and high tech, and they have all the science. They can, and even if it's a company that has not submitted a PMTA, they can buy that company.
Yeah.
As long as they pull that product off of the market. No PMTAs received approval. I have not seen a single substantive review letter from Open Vapor. Not from Open. I haven't seen a single. I've seen a letter saying that we received your PMTA and we're moving it to the next step of the process, which is filing. After filing comes substantive review. I have not seen a single letter that says we are moving your product to substantive review, which is the third or fourth step in the process. If you look at the FDA's, the new one, the Zeller letter,
yep.
It has a graphic that shows it's a little line and it's different colors. Yes, IQOS. I'm not talking about PMTAs for IQOS. Yes, they've received their IQO. They've received their PMTA and they've received a partial MRTP.
Yeah,
that's a modified risk tobacco product. So they're allowed to say on the IQOS that there are fewer harmful chemicals. Yes. Mm-hmm. But they're not allowed. They didn't get a full modified risk application through.
Here's what he said.
Which one?
Here's what he said. Now the initial intake of submissions is nearly complete, and the acceptance, filing, and substantial review.
So a bunch of people got acceptance letters. Nobody's filing. Filing is the next step, and then after that is substantive review. So once your PMTA gets into substantive review, later on in that, he says that any time during that substantive review, you can receive a marketing letter. You can receive orders for market anytime during that substantive review. I have not seen, I don't say that they don't exist. I know that New Century or the Swisher company they've moved into substantive review. I have not seen anything from any open vapor company that says that their application has been moved to the substantive review. I know that a bunch of people are in the acceptance category that have already received did not file, and because he says in there that we've sent out 300 letters of did not file, and there are other ones that have received letters of saying, well, you need to fix this, this, and this.
There is one actually. IQOS also put through modified risk and for a vaping product for the IQOS mesh, which is a liquid system.
Not in the States. They have not received any PMTA.
But it's there.
They have submitted a PMTA, but not a modified risk.
Right. No, they're the ones under IQOS, but it's IQOS 4 or something.
But that's still not an open vapor product. I was talking about open vapor.
Okay, I'm unsure whether or not it can be refilled. That was my question to that when I read it. I went, if it's refillable, then doesn't that fall under open vapor?
No company has received a PMTA approval. No company in the vaping market has received a PM. Now, IQOS has received a PMTA for their heat not burn product.
Right.
But no vaping product has received an approval letter. Yeah, no vaping company has received a letter of, they have not received their marketing orders. No vaping company has received it. Even Juul and the big tobacco companies have not received a PMTA approval for any product, let alone an open vapor product. I'm addressing Will's question in the chat room.
Okay.
Yeah.
And here's hoping
no
every
vaping
freaking one of them
PMTA has been approved. Period. If a company had received a PMTA approval and received marketing orders, everybody in the fucking world would know it.
Everybody.
Straight away.
Yeah. So yeah, no vaping company has received approval. Now, quite a few vaping companies have received letters of acceptance, which is stage 1. That is them saying, we have received your application, and on its face value, it looks like it has what we would consider to be the minimum level of what is a PMTA.
Right. Mm-hmm. And Will, making sure you know is a good thing.
Yeah.
We don't always know everything either, but asking the question is good.
Yeah. Definitely.
And we want them
and if
to be
I don't know
successful.
shit, yeah. I mean, if I don't know shit, I will reach out to Demi and get an answer.
Yeah.
But yeah, if a PMTA had been approved, everyone in the world would know, because Demi would tell me, and then y'all would know.
And Bill would tell me, and
no, the letter saying that you got that you have been accepted means that you can still be on the market for 1 year. That's basically saying we acknowledge you sent us a PMTA.
For now. Yeah. You're good till September. We know you exist.
Ed says I keep interrupting people. Guess what? My fucking show.
I don't like him for you, Ed.
Oh, dude.
I
got
want
this really cool. I got this really cool little Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
What?
It's really cool. It looks very retro, right?
It looks like it's from Ed's era. Yeah.
Probably dead.
At least.
No, it still lights up.
There you go.
It's blue.
Ta-da.
Don't even go there, Bill.
Well, I mean, these are the same assholes that have been saying for years that their e-liquids are produced in an FDA-approved lab.
Fucking near impossible. Impossible.
I used to go to vape shows all the time, and people would have little cards, little menu cards on their booths, and on the bottom there would be an FDA logo, and I'd be like,
"Really?
What the fuck is this?"
No.
But yeah, people would do that all the time, and people would put the GMP logo on there, and I'm like,
ISO?
when did GMP? When was there ever a GMP for vaping products that was actually published and approved?
What's GSM?
GSM?
Mm-hmm. Or would you just say
GlaxoSmithKline? No.
Oh yeah.
That's GSK.
No, GMP. What?
GMP is
good manufacturing
practices.
So I could put ISO, right?
Of course, I would.
No, ISO is an actual lab certification.
That's
a different thing.
Certification. GMP, yes, under TPD, GMP was implemented in part of the documentation originally.
Not here.
No.
Yeah, not here.
Not here.
But GMP is a part of manufacturing overall. GMP stands for good manufacturing process, which it's end to end. You can track everything from concentrate, PG, VG, anything that you want to add to your liquid, but it also goes down to how your liquid is manufactured, the machinery, the bottling, your sterilization process, and then that also then branches over into ISO certification.
Well,
it does exist.
I know. The ISO certification for the manufacturer of e-liquid itself was not ever published.
No.
I know. I interviewed I interviewed the guy that was in charge of the committee that was designing that protocol so that people could get certified specifically by ISO for manufacture of e-liquid.
Yep.
And an international standard for production of e-liquid. And it never got any support. Nobody wanted it. Everybody wants to put the ISO label or stamp that their lab is an ISO lab.
Correct.
But that's just a general certification as a lab in general.
ISO 9001, which is not, well, it is recognized, but ISO 9000 in the 9000 series, you're only at ISO 7. ISO 5, you're starting to talk pharmaceutical. ISO 5 and above, that's all pharmaceutical grade manufacturing.
And some of it just has to do with worker safety, doesn't it?
No, it has to do with gowning up and down procedures and the HEPA filters that are actually installed.
Yeah.
And the airflow and your airlocks between an airlock going into your change room, into your wet room where you actually wash up before you enter the lab. And it's gowning up and down procedures. It is huge.
Paul used to shave his Tic Tacs before he went in.
Look, no.
Or Tic Tac.
No, yeah, all right. Take the piss out of me for having a single Tic Tac, asshat. Look, here's the thing.
I'm just trying to single you out.
All right. Well, I'll single you out too, dickhead. Bottom line is that when I have worked in labs in the past, yes, that's why I had a shaved head. I was pretty much shaved from head to toe. So there was no contamination, even if we were gowned up. Right. There was no chance of contamination. Yeah. That's what it was all about. The higher you go in ISO, the worse it gets.
Yeah.
So, Ivana, just to address your question about shipping, there are more carriers than FedEx, UPS, DHL that will more than likely. There are companies. I don't want to talk about outside baseball, or inside baseball, but there are companies that are regional that have contracts with other regional carriers that there's a way and that do everything legally, that are registered as tobacco carriers that can carry your vape products B2B and B2C. But we're going to have to, get into that world. This is not the end of the world. They're making it harder, but there are people working on solutions to deal with that. And if that means that a distro in New York wants to ship to a distro drop site here that will be able to get them from one regional carrier to another, and they might have to, it might take a little bit longer for packages to get where they're supposed to go, but there is a way to make this happen. These are companies that that openly, legally ship tobacco products now.
Yeah,
correct.
It's just, the only thing, the PACT Act is, if I buy a pack of cigarettes in Virginia and you look at the bottom of that pack of cigarettes, there's a tax stamp for Virginia on the bottom of that pack of cigarettes. That is a requirement for the PACT Act. So there has to be a way. What they're looking at is they're looking at companies that are already doing this type of thing to make sure that everybody's legal, because nobody wants ATF busting your door down, because that's who will come. If it's a PACT Act violation, it's an actual criminal thing, and they'll come and put handcuffs on you. So now that we've been wrapped up into the PACT Act, it's not simply that these companies don't, they're literally, we already showed the numbers from New York State where we had multi-million-dollar fines for these companies that were illegally shipping and not collecting the tax money. So that's what this is all about, is basically making sure that we can build a network of shippers. I don't even want to address that comment, Will, because I live in Texas. So that we, everybody's legal, nobody's going to jail. But it's not the end of the world. They're looking at building this up, and let the distros and the big dick e-liquid manufacturers work it out. And then all of the smaller companies will be able to take advantage of that system. Giant Vapes is not. If Giant Vapes isn't worried about it, obviously they're they're owned by Big Tobacco. I don't imagine that it's going to go away. It's just that we have to figure out the right way to do it, because people have to sign, a signature upon delivery. Shipping's going to be more expensive. So when you order shit, you're going to have to order a couple months at one time so that it makes it cost effective. But yeah, it's not the end of the world. It's just that it's going to be a little bit harder, and you have to be a little bit more patient. So yeah, Kevin actually put a link to the PACT Act is not a joke.
No,
$97.6 million fine.
Yeah,
for that. Yeah, just that one. That's just that one,
and that's just one.
And that's cigarettes, but now we're tobacco, so it's the same thing.
Right now that we're wrapped up in the PACT Act, it's all about tax money, and that making sure that each tax collector in each state knows how much money they're supposed to have from vaping. That's
they've got a budget.
If you figure if you're a company, if you're an e-liquid manufacturing company and you're shipping to all 50 states, you have to register with the tax assessor or the comptroller in all 50 states, and then you have to report I'm thinking monthly to the tax collectors in all 50 states. Hey, this is how many bottles of e-liquid I sold into your state. Here's your tax money.
Either monthly or quarterly.
This is the tracking number and the signature from the delivery of every one of those packages.
Yeah.
When I was doing retail, we had a company here locally. I don't think they're national. It was called McClellan. It's a plain white box truck. They brought juju beans. They brought certain things that the company didn't ship themselves, and mostly it was up behind the shelf type stuff, or some mostly candy. They also brought cigarettes.
No, Havana.
They were the guys that brought those in.
Right, in most convenience stores, the cigarettes are not stocked by the company.
I've never seen a Marlboro truck in my life ever.
No, because
ever.
Right. Well, the reason being, once upon a time, you used to see cigarette trucks, and they used to get rolled.
Yeah.
So that's when they all went plain, right? Now they're all GPS tracked.
Yeah.
Okay. But
low jacked. But
low jacked.
Once this gets all worked out and everybody figures out what they're doing, it will be seamless. The consumer won't be screwed. It's just that their wallet might be screwed because it'll be a little bit more expensive. But as far as that goes, when I first started vaping, I was paying $1 a mil for e-liquid. So a 30 mil bottle cost $30. So this race to the bottom that a lot of e-liquid companies got into by trying to undercut their competition, that's where this all this is where we all went south. If everybody had protected their product and kept their product at the value that it originally was, we wouldn't be expecting a $12 30 or $12 60 mil bottle. And
it's gone as bad now as $15 or $120. Right?
I never understood why anybody would voluntarily reduce the value of their product. It's bad. It's bad economics. It's bad business.
Yeah. Okay. That all came about with the race to the highest wattage, right? That was the start of it, right? The highest wattage, these industrial strength tanks that you could fill with 10 and 12, 15 mils that either were like pre-built coil or handmade coil, one of the two, right, that were industrial size.
I have beautiful mods that go to 250 watts.
Yeah, but
and
you can't do that on a pair of 18650s.
I don't ever have to use up all those watts.
No. But you can't run that chip at its full potential until you put a LiPo behind it. Fight me on that one.
I don't know anything about that. So all I know is that I have a mod that goes to 250 watts.
Yeah.
That I only use like 18 watts.
Right. Here's the kicker though. When the wattage war started in 2016, like late 2015, early 2016, and then it was the fucking race to the blame the cloud chuckers. Oh, fuck you, Ed. I'll deal with you later. It then, right, in 2016, 2017, when sub-ohm technology became like open to everyone started dropping their liquid prices because the tanks used more and more and more liquids.
That Kanger sub tank was a beautiful tank. I have a bunch of them over here. I still only vaped at like 18, 20 watts and still vaped good.
I went back from vaping at 100 watts. I'm back at 20 watts now.
Oh, you daredevil.
Oh, yeah.
You're a crazy man.
Yeah,
I've never vaped at 20 watts.
No.
Oh shit! The highest I vaped. God, if you put in a wattage, like on series boxes, no comment.
16.5 watts.
Yeah, and he's got that fucking Osmosis that I like too.
Let me see what this is here, just for the hell of it. I'm at 6.5.
Yeah, you're right. You're right there, Bill. There was a lot of small liquid companies getting into the game that became very big very quickly. And for the most part of it, well, he's right.
Well, no, but what I'm saying, I mean, the sub tank allowed e-liquid companies to sell more e-liquid.
Yes.
So then they can start making in bigger batches.
Liquid gold.
Because they were selling more, and it became even less expensive to manufacture because they're making larger batches.
Yeah, correct.
But I still would never have. I would still never have diminished the value of my product.
But they
then
because there was a lot of cowboys that got into the industry.
They would have still had more money in their bank account if they produced a good product, more money in their bank account so that they could possibly have put more money into the advocacy hat to pay for the protection of their fucking industry.
Yeah, but those fuckers never did.
I have a Hannah mod here that I would love to get fixed because it's a stainless steel Hannah mod.
Oh, bullshit.
And the DNA chip needs to be replaced. But I am not
6.5 watts.
I am not a mod.
Ed's making me think about what I did. It's watts.
No, it's volts.
It says it says wattage right underneath.
Rev him up, Ed. Rev him up.
I don't even know how to see the volts. Where's the volts?
Oh, don't worry about voltage. You don't need voltage, Kevin.
If any of my viewers wants to replace my DNA chip from my stainless steel Hannah mod,
shit.
I love this mod. This thing is perfect. It's a DNA 40.
Yeah, you can send it to me.
I'm not sending it to Australia
Why not?
because I'll never get it back.
Yeah, well, that was the whole idea of the exercise.
But yeah, I would love to find somebody that can re-put. I wonder if I sent this to Evolve, would they put a new board in it for me?
Yeah, pretty much, because fuck, that's
Yeah, it's a stainless.
Yeah, I
Single
know.
8650.
You can't send anything in the mail until Jennifer and Phil get their packages. Then you can send,
I will
you can
send
send
this
that
in the mail.
bullshit thing to Paul.
I will send this in the mail to Evolve. Way
The same
before
day.
I'm getting something out of this.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I love that mod.
I just want Jennifer and Phil to know that I'm on their side and I don't like you. That's all.
I have quite a few SX mini mods as well.
Yeah, I know. They're good. They're good too. I've got a few.
Nice to see you, Ed Jagla. I don't think I've seen you in here before.
That's a new name. It's a new person, unless he's like somebody else that changed his name.
I know who Jed is. I know who Ed is.
But yeah,
Did you know about your Tic Tac?
I don't. Everybody should be.
No,
Everybody should be.
It's old school.
I don't think anybody should be panicking about the shipping stuff. These guys are going to, I mean, obviously there are routes, but everybody has it in their head. Oh, well, it has to be USPS. It has to be FedEx. It has to be UPS. But there are other ways. There are other shippers. We have to figure out which ones will get us we get full, 50 state coverage. That's what the deal is the 50 state coverage. There are smaller shippers like, Hot Shots carry truckloads of shit all over the country. So it's just, you got to figure it out.
Yep.
Any comments on Anakin just advertise? I have no idea. I don't know what you're talking about. Send me what you're talking about, Tom, and I'll look at it.
And of course, the black market will come out if
Cully.
Yeah.
Cully did a video where he was talking about that the black market will exist and that people will, and then some other YouTuber dude did a whole video like pointing out all the things that Matt Cully said that's illegal and that he'd already turned in a couple different reviewers over the last year to FDA, but now he was sending a letter to the ATF with a copy of the video.
Oh, thank goodness.
And this is a vapor guy. This is a guy that's a vapor.
Oh my God.
And I'm just like, what the hell, dude? But this is some crazy dude that I've been so busy doing my own thing. I don't pay attention to these YouTube people.
Yeah.
And
it's going to happen. It will exist, and there isn't anything that.
But this is like some crazy guy that's apparently evil, and crazy, and has been around vaping that I just didn't know the fuck about. He's so popular that he's got more followers on YouTube than I do, though, which pisses me off. It's some crazy guy.
I didn't see Matt's video, but I believe Matt.
Well, I'm quite confident that people will be breaking the rules.
I'm quite confident I'm going to encourage it.
Yeah.
I prefer not to. I prefer it to be legal, regulated, reasonably.
I would prefer that like ATF doesn't knock down my fucking door, but
Right. I don't want my friends or acquaintances and even people I don't like being arrested for stupid shit, but I'd prefer it to be regulated reasonably, safely, and leave us the fuck alone. That's what I want.
I don't know that anybody is sitting here arguing that we don't want any regulation.
No.
This is a product that I inhale into my body. Of course, I want there to be some sort of safety regulations involved. I want them to be fair. I don't know that he was part of the Vaping Legion. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
So I'm good.
But yeah, I don't think anybody is arguing that we shouldn't have any regulation. Obviously, it needs to be fair. It needs to have input from the industry in developing those regulations, from good actors in the industry that, obviously we have industry players that claim that they have chemists that work for them, and it's some dude in a lab coat that has no credentials. But yeah, I
play a doctor on TV,
I wear a lab coat at work sometimes because I work when I go into the hospital. If I don't wear scrubs, I have to wear a lab coat, and I don't like to wear scrubs because it feels like pajamas.
Yeah.
So
this was from the very bottom part of the whole thing was knowing your local people, knowing your state people, and those people would talk to the federal people, and then that never happened. And then they said, well, it's dangerous. Well, it's tobacco. Now it is tobacco. Now it's being regulated out if it continues. So from the starting point of knowing your local people and going for legislation and the heart and cancer and lung and all the other alphabet groups, this is a big, long, happy mess. And all it needs to be is shown scientifically.
It always has been.
Simple.
It always has been, Kevin.
Yeah.
We used to go down different pathways when we did the show with David, and I threw you a couple of bones, and you found what I'd been looking at for a number of years, and you went, "Oh shit!"
Yep.
So this all goes back to where, and then bada bing, off we go.
Yeah.
Bada bing.
Bada bing.
Okay, Lilu. Let's see if
Mr.
anybody
Troll
gets that
has
right.
arrived.
Mr.
Troll. Really?
Wonderful.
Okay. What are we smoking today, Mr. Troll?
Mr. Troll.
Mr. Troll.
Yep.
Ed has an alter ego.
So Ed.
What did Ed do?
Oh, hello.
Oh,
Now, you dickhead.
Well, you've been talking about Yee and stuff, so I figured I would show a couple of my SXs.
Yeah, I had one of them, and I don't know where I put it.
But this was my favorite. When I bought this, this was a big deal when I got this.
The original SX.
Came in a little SX bag, and it was, it was pretty nice. I didn't like this one as much.
ML Pass. That's it. Hang on, I've got one here kicking around. I've got one of the auto squonkers somewhere. One of the first ones.
Well, I have a couple other custom mods that have the SX chip in them, but those are the SX.
So do I. I've got actually a whole lot of them.
But I
got SX ones like original, like auto squonks and stuff like that. Yeah. Most of all that is it actually. Yeah.
Are we having a competition?
Yeah. Show him your tic tac, Paul.
Really?
about mod?
Then we'd get banned.
Oh my goodness.
I'm just if we're gonna show fancy devices, I think
I got nothing fancy.
I can hold up that fight.
I know about the Nano. Ed.
I like Menord. Since you guys are all showing off shit, I really like this, Paul. I don't know if you've got one of these or not.
Like this one?
I still got this, and
that's a good device.
No, Phil and Dimmy never sent me one of them. But
that's it.
Yeah.
He didn't.
Yeah, I like fishing rods as well.
No one sent me one either. I had to buy it.
Oh, yeah. This.
The only reason, and I had Phil on the show, and I said, Phil, send Kevin a free mod.
Yeah,
and he did.
And he did.
I did.
Didn't send me one. Didn't send me one. I had to buy one, but I sent Kevin one.
Yeah.
Send Kevin one.
Yep. I feel sorry for Phil. He's going to be wiping somebody's ass.
No, Demetrius already told him to stay at home. He didn't go. Miss Vaping Greek. Miss Vaping Greek is
that poor lady
is doing that.
That poor lady.
And yes, Kevin Crowley got the Freeze Light special edition. I had to buy my regular edition. See, they don't love me enough to send me stuff.
No.
Brand new in the box, unopened.
Shit happens.
Yeah. Nobody loves me.
Nobody loves me. I don't even like you.
I know. But the takeaway from the show is that people are actually starting to watch the show because
we're mentioned in major
we're being mentioned in major financial news publications on the other side of the planet.
Paul's in Australia. Dickhead's in Texas.
I'm in Ohio. We interview an Australian senator, and we get mentioned in news pieces by the Wall Street Journal, the Australian version of the Wall Street Journal. 3 times in this article we are mentioned. So I'm quite thankful because maybe we'll get some non-vapey people.
Yeah.
God, I might have to delete this show though.
Hello, non-vaping people.
because they're gonna be like, these guys are a fucking bunch of crazy dickheads.
Dickheads.
No, actually, what we should do is keep the show private and then have a bit of fun with it and cut it up because I want to call this Muppet out from Fin Review.
Well, right? Like I said, I'm going to call him out after I rewatch the show to verify that everything that he said is true. Because if it's not true, then I'm gonna go on to Twitter. I'm gonna cut this bit out of the video, show it when we share screen these quotes from the video, and then I'm gonna find the clips that don't, where she doesn't say the things that they said she said.
Well,
and then invite them back on. Invite her back on.
Well, I'd actually. Oh well, I can't say this while we're live. I'm going to make this comment later because that could be the funniest show ever.
Well, and I'm going to specifically point out the poor grammar as well on Twitter. Mm-hmm. There's 5 or 6 sentences in here that are just fucking brilliant.
Can you smoke weed in a vape? Really? Right. Okay.
Not on this show because we don't talk about weed on this show. We don't. Nah. That's not what we're about. I fully support people's right to do whatever the fuck they want, but we don't do weed on this show. We don't promote it. We don't use it.
No, that's all good.
But yeah, that's not what we're about. That's not our thing. There are things, but that's not our thing. So yeah.
Long live the magic tic tac. So Patrick, when you do ream this ass, I'd like you to tag me or and I really don't want you to because it takes the characters away.
Do you want to jump in on the ass tagging? Is that what you're?
I'll get my tic tac out and then I'll do my own thing.
I mean, I really don't feel like having a gang rape or anything. That'd be.
No, I can see that you've done it. I can retweet it, give it a little pressure, and then I'll on my own do my own thing.
Yeah.
Because I think you can rip ass a little better than me on some things. So journalism background, etc.
We can look. Bottom line is with Fin Review, we've got to be careful. Okay.
Yeah.
But
Science.
I don't want to be careful.
No.
Not with this cat that put that article out, because he went a little bit too far and pushed what's going on right now here in Australia. And to do it through that platform, he's got balls. And whoever wrote that for him or co-wrote that for him,
yeah,
I want to get to the bottom of.
Do you see Chapman's? I don't see Chapman. I was thinking it was at first, but I don't see his writing.
I see Swanson in here. It's not Chapman. There's
I know
no
of
way.
him. I don't know him. Yeah.
No, well, Swanson.
Morris.
Who is he? Well, Chimpman's there, but not the way that we all think he is.
Right.
This is a little bit
Becky.
more crafted. Well, she's definitely in this, but this was a little bit more crafted than the normal rhetoric that comes out of their mouth.
Well, right, because
they now know that we're in election year.
a short piece, a short 3, 4, 5, 6 paragraph piece would have been anybody just fucking around. This is an in-depth bullshit story with twists, completely twisted. And then Paul, as he pointed out, or I'm sorry, Patrick, as he pointed out very well, the language and the habitual stupidity just kept going. So I don't see Chapman being smart enough for it, honestly.
No, yeah, but the figures have also been twisted around, including Freeman's numbers. Which
those are those are hers. Okay.
Yeah, they're twisted as well.
Okay.
So where is this coming from?
Right. And we can have Holly back on, and Patrick will probably reach out to her. And we will ask her straight out, are you a big tobacco shill? And she's going to say whatever her answer is, and then we're going to continue on from there. But we got to get the other guy on first. And if he refuses, we'll just say what he said. Wasn't available for comment.
Hang on. It'd be funny to have a revolving door on that day. And if we can get Holly for more than 30 minutes, I'll come in. I'll throw Holly a couple of questions. And if we can get financial to come in even for 10 minutes and just hammer him and go, where did all of this background come from? Because you're wrong with the figures. Your figures are out by 100,000 plus.
He didn't
and
link
the
either.
and the percentages of vapors, smokers. What? No, wrong. He did. There are figures in there, and they're all wrong.
Right.
So where are these numbers coming from? There's Freeman's report. That 7-page bullshit report that she put out, and then under Senate oath, she said, I can't answer that because the report's not finished yet.
Right.
That's all we've ever heard here in this country. The reports aren't finished yet. We can't talk about this. The report's not finished. Fuck off.
We don't know enough.
Oh, get fucked.
More research is needed. I love that at the end of almost every piece. Oh, hey, bastard's waking up.
Well,
So, Patrick, you've got a whole slew of people to come on the next few weeks.
I know, right?
Because right now,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that the show is still live right now because of the Wi-Fi.
Why?
Yeah.
Well,
my internet's been up and down. This is the longest it's been up. I'm surprised.
Yeah, but we've got the Wi-Fi gremlins helping you keep it alive.
That's right. And we can show that we can actually be articulate and sociable and friendly, and we can take yeses and nos without, bruised, hurt feelings and egos. But when you're either lying or embellishing, then we have to question that, period. So I'm looking forward to Patrick's tweets.
It's not
like I said. I want to make sure. I want to make sure that everything that we say is factually true. So I want to go through the show and verify everything, and then I will take that guy down. But yeah, because if he made false statements, I want to get him. No,
Eliana's also said the same about him and the article. Game on.
So yeah, I mean, if she says that Greg Hunt, even a simple mistake like she called Greg Hunt a smartass,
yep,
right,
and not the guy that he claimed she called a smartass, that's a factual inaccuracy. I need to hit him with that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I want to verify that like his quotes are accurate. He didn't reach out to me, obviously, to ask for comment or to even quote from my video. Like the NFL says, no part of my video can be rebroadcast or quoted without my expressly written permission. I want him to quote me, but I want to make sure that he's actually quoting me accurately.
Well, yeah.
No, I want to go after him as well because the figures are all wrong.
Well, I won't hit him on the veracity of that, but I want to hit him on the veracity of anything that's associated with my show.
Correct.
So, yeah.
I'm just going to find it fun to watch.
It is, yeah, it's 1:30 a.m. here, which means it's 2:30 a.m. in Kevin Place in Ohio. So we're gonna actually bring it down for tonight. I mean, we just were coming on to shoot the breeze, and we talked about vaping stuff, and we talked about PMTA stuff, and we talked about being quoted in the Financial Review of Australia. We showed the Seismic Pirates big tobacco or big
that's right.
Big toothpick video.
I am big toothpick.
We talked about a little bit of music stuff. We talked about some stuff, but it was just us shooting the breeze tonight because we didn't have a guest, and I didn't have any guarantee that I was going to have internet tonight. But yeah, I appreciate everybody coming. And Kevin already walked away, or Paul already walked away. I get you guys confused all the time.
I'm the prettier one. Oh, Jesus Christ! He scared me again.
You're the non-Tic Tac one.
Yes.
Yes.
Anti-Tic Tac, actually.
We're gonna say goodbye to everybody. Have a nice night. Stay the fuck out of trouble, unless you enjoy getting into trouble, and have fun. And we'll see you in 7 days. Hopefully by then I will have a new Wi-Fi router, which will hopefully prevent the loss of the internet, which luckily we didn't have tonight. But I might wake up in the morning without internet again. So y'all be good. We're not doing the normal thing. We don't have intro music or anything tonight. So just keep fucking fighting for vaping, and we'll talk to you in 7 days. Bye.